Hello friends, welcome to Symbaroum. This is a TTRPG system and setting created by Free League Publishing. I am joined here with my fellow companions, Vertigo Cross as Ura, Kory as Dati, and Obdurant as our Dungeon Master. Kevin, please take it away.
Okay. Last session, everyone showed up kind of at the mouth of Complex. Arga is the only one who is conscious right now, as Ura and Dati both passed out while Ist was transporting you. So as the scene opens, we are standing in the dim light of sort of an underground complex. Behind the pathway changes from kind of these ancient hallways to just carved earth. It's clear some form of excavation has taken place, and the tunnel may lead to the surface, to something else you do not know. Ahead of you, spanning about 6 feet or so, a corridor continues into the darkness, but here the material around you is kind of a smooth, greenish tinged granite-like quality. It's somewhat reflective, and it looks in a rather good condition.
First thing Araga is going to do is shove some herbal cures down some people's throats. Or however you're supposed to do it. She's not a medicus. I'm joking. I'm joking. She doesn't actually literally do that, by the way.
Oh, aren't we full health? We were just knocked unconscious by the teleport laser.
Oh, right.
We got healed by getting loogied by a giant worm.
That's,
Two of you did.
That's right. Okay. Arga will scramble over to Dati first and try to shake her awake. Dati, wake up.
It doesn't take anything more than that. Yeah, you wake her up.
And then
Dati starts to sit up then and squints around.
Arga will use her boot and kind of gently poke Ura's shoulder. Boop.
Ura grabs a nearby knife and slashes at the air in front of her, hitting nothing. And then wakes up. Well, this is different.
Wind or magic and power of some sort. You both are more aware of what it's capable of than I am, after all.
Ura just looks mostly confused at that before realizing that her various very bad wounds are basically gone.
Really just 1, 2 very bad wounds?
Yeah, it was a punch. She notices her ribs aren't broken.
Yeah.
DM, how many hit points did we heal? Because I have 1.
All of them. You should be full health.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Wow, that's some magic spit. Can I put some in a bottle?
Mm.
Who
If
needs a hot elf girlfriend to take care of your wounds when you've got magic snake spit?
Are you gonna go back and try to romance it?
Oh no. We should probably get moving.
Dati starts to sit up and kind of looks all around. You said we're in a tunnel?
Yeah, kind of the line between tunnel behind you and more just underground hallway in front of you at this point.
And what is enabling us to see?
There's a fairly dim, pervasive light. You can't necessarily tell where it is, but it's not to the level that a torch would be. It's kind of indistinct, or it makes everything around you quite indistinct.
So brightness
You don't see a source,
exists.
though.
Brightness exists.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say brightness, but yeah, I mean,
Dimness.
you can kind of see what's around you.
Ominous mood lighting.
Moonlight filtered through a cloud on a stormy night.
But somehow underground. I see. Smoke and mirrors. And
But without either of those.
a shame we don't have our tracker.
Your who?
We lost a friend recently. Arga will look down at the ground and she will try to determine which way is out. You said one way is kind of like a hallway and the other way is more like a tunnel?
Yes.
So
Behind you.
okay.
I have said this like 4 times now, guys.
Wait, Kevin, what is this hallway like?
Oh my lord.
I had to ask again because I was unconscious the first time.
Yeah, I was also unconscious for the first 3 times.
Okay, well,
Behind you, it's just worked earth and stone, like someone has tunneled through it. In front of you and around you, there's actual stonework. It's a kind of greenish color. It's very granite-like. So in front of you, actual building, civilized, ancient, one might say. But you
Okay.
can infer from what's behind you, you're underground right now. And behind you again is that tunnel of stone. Just in case you're about to ask, I wanted to
No,
get
no,
that
no.
out
What
there.
I was gonna
what I was
ask-
gonna ask is, how are we seeing right now, Kevin?
Oh my god.
well, no. What I was gonna ask,
Hang on. Roll for a sudden cave-in.
what I was gonna ask was, all right, when we split the party here to go both ways, who's going with who?
Well, that depends. Which of us goes both ways?
So last I knew, Araga was kind of eyeing the ground as if she was going to track us in a direction.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the most sense that we try to go out, right? Not further in.
Sort of. Dati is going to like reach over to Araga. And I think that if we're going to seek this king, he will be in a more settled location. And she'll gesture forwards towards the building area and start that way.
But do we go find the king, or do we find the way to the king? With this knot.
A little bit of both.
Okay. Araga gives a deep nod. Very much being the type that you point at something and she takes care of the thing, but she doesn't do the pointing. Well then,
She's like a sword.
lead the way.
Uda gets up, dusts her pants off, and then starts walking forward.
Okay.
But just to reiterate, forward is the like hallway looking one.
Okay. That's good
Yes.
to know. I'm glad that you were able to identify
Yes,
it
we
that
are
way.
going away from the tunnel and into the hallway.
It's a good thing we had a precise description of it. We might have gotten lost.
Alright, Ura, roll vigilance -2.
Vigilance minus.
Okay,
Did it
cool.
just for you, Captain.
So, as you step forward, maybe only 4 or 5 feet, Ura will see that there's a, essentially a tripwire strung across the ground. Well, I mean, a little higher than the ground if it were on the ground would be kind of pointless. But anyway, it runs the length of the hall from one way to the other, and it connects on the side, you can tell, to some sort of mechanism that's made of iron. It's clearly a new addition to the environment, but it looks like it would cause quite a racket. If you were to trigger it, it might have more effects. It's a little difficult to see what else is there. But you're able to identify it, you're able to step over it. You can certainly point it out to your companions.
She, upon seeing the like faint shimmer of the wire as she was about to step on it, she crouches down in front of it, stares at it for a moment, and says, "Hey guys, we got a party maker over here."
What?
She holds her hand out in front of her, confused as to why you don't notice it.
Dati will start closer and discover it.
We can just step over it, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're a goblin.
Arga steps over it.
Well, now you fell for the second tripwire, Stella. It's the oldest trick in the book.
Well, you know what? It's your fault for not pointing it out.
Well, she was trying to point out the first one, but then someone just stepped over it.
Arga steps over it.
There isn't a second one. That's it.
There's no party over here.
Well, no, you would have to mess with this to make the party. That's why I called it a party maker. He stands back up.
Thank you.
She nods at that and then steps over and continues on the way.
We'll follow after.
Should we light a torch?
It might make it somewhat easier to see, but it will certainly make it much easier to see us.
Arga lights a torch.
Okay.
And she hands it to Dati. Arga will stand in the back.
Urda looks at the motion, sees the exchange there, and then looks back to Raga and just says, so you're the cowardly sort, are you?
We call this a flank defense. Arga says as she hefts up her giant sword and she just kind of rests it over her shoulders.
Just keeps on going down the hallway.
Okay. So after about 15 meters or so, the hallway splits in a little bit of an unusual way at first until you have time to process what exactly is going on. So it branches off like a T at first. You can see to your left and to your right, the hallway continues in much the same form that it has. Here, however, it kind of spreads out in front of you into a courtyard. And you can actually tell, as you kind of process the sight of what's going on here, that there are kind of pillars lining the courtyard from the hallway that you're in, and although it's a little too difficult to make out what exactly goes on to the left and to the right, it looks as if you're at the entrance of an atrium directly above you, and this is pretty in line with the hallway that you've been walking down to this point. You can see that there's sort of a peaked aspect to the ceiling, and you're kind of looking at the underside of some sort of roof structure that's like 12 feet high or so. And in front of you, the courtyard area has been excavated, or it has just been undisturbed by the submerging of this structure, by the accumulation of dirt or whatever got to the point of it being underground. You can't see above you until you actually step out into the courtyard due to the whole roof situation, but there's no cave-in, there's no dirt really. There's just a courtyard in the middle of this subterranean plaza.
Does the natural lighting reach to the ceiling?
It does not. Now the torch, if you were to step out, would illuminate above you, and like as soon as you took that first step, basically you'd see that it probably goes about 18 to 20 feet high. So it is domed a little higher than the actual ceiling that accompanies like the sort of walls of the atrium around the courtyard. But the torchlight doesn't really expand across the courtyard. You can't see all the way down either of the halls right now or anything like that.
Do the material look very ancient? Like, Araga would probably not have a lot of experience with the ruins of old, but she did find one of those such ruins when she had gone through the haze.
Mm-hmm.
Is it similar
It's-
in that sort of sense?
It's not similar to that ruin.
Okay.
The stonework is different, so you'd be inclined to think that it's either not from the same time or it's not from the same people. But it is certainly aged in much the same way. But it's not the white stone that you encountered while you were with El Henri.
Okay.
Dati will kind of step into this atrium-looking courtyard and hear about. You mentioned it looked. You said excavated, but then you also said undisturbed.
Sorry. So undisturbed by the accumulation of like dirt or landslide or whatever put it under.
It's not filled with dirt.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So the courtyard.
Okay.
And as Dati steps forward, she can kind of see playing at the very edge of the torchlight. There's some kind of shape, like a structure, not like an individual, at least you think, in the center of the courtyard. And also the torchlight sort of illuminates the pillars between the courtyard and the hallways in the atrium.
Okay. What's this shape?
So as you walk forward to inspect it, you will discover that it's essentially a large fountain, although it has run dry at this point. It's a tiered circular fountain. The lowest tier on the ground is perhaps 15 feet wide in diameter, and then there are two additional tiers that each rise only a foot or so. But on that highest tier, there is a statue with what appears to be something that's kind of like a figure, but it's not very humanoid. It's a bent, asymmetrical shape, and the head kind of swirls about in a way that's a little evocative of something intangible, more so than a really physical form. And kind of at the base of that tier, there are what appear to be four like flat circular spots that have like a little etching inside of them. One at, you could say each cardinal direction. I mean, obviously you don't know what north is right now, but kind of at the equal spots around the circle from each other. Equidistant, that's right.
They form four different 90-degree angles
They do, in fact, yeah.
at a plane parallel to the floor.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I was just...
Oh no, is this a puzzle?
I was helping.
No, Stella, it's a map.
It's a puzzle map.
I mean, it's a fountain, guys. Right now, that's
It's
all.
dried up.
It's an empty fountain. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I think we're kind of more trying to get our bearings than really like zoom in on any micro details. You know?
All right, we've
Mhm.
solved the puzzle. Araga goes up and pours her water satchel into the fountain.
So I think the fountain is something to be looked at, processed, cataloged, and moved on past.
What about admired? Can we admire it?
We aren't sure whether we can admire it or not because we don't know who made it, and it's very bad to admire artifacts of ancient Symbar.
So don't get mired down admiring.
Yeah, no. Move past. I listed the appropriate activities.
I think
Is this-
Ariga will not do any of those. And
Okay.
instead, as we're like moving along, she's kind of keeping an eye out behind her and more focused on what's on the outside of our little bubble of observation, trying to make sure we're not getting flanked, trying to pay attention if there's any noise coming from ahead of us, behind us, that sort of thing. She's not really taking in the immediate details.
Okay. Go ahead and roll vigilant.
Shit.
You
Easy.
you asked for this job.
That's a success.
We should ever keep watch from now on.
No.
Yeah, so Ariga is lagging a little behind as Ura and Dati take in the fountain and kind of check out the interior of the courtyard here. She has her eyes on behind you guys. And
Who's behind?
Yeah, she doesn't see anything.
Alright, so we currently aren't the died.
I think we're kind of just slowly moving forward, right? We're not really.
Yeah, so Dottie's whole the entirety of this room is what's in it, and does it have a second way into and or out of?
So you're gonna like check out basically the entire perimeter of
Yeah,
the area?
yeah.
Yeah. So if the atrium were square, which it is, and the hallway goes around the outside of it,
I feel like
there
part of that
is-
sentence wasn't needed.
Well, it's not exactly a square. It's, that's just the layout you can imagine.
Is it a
But,
rectangle?
next character
if
is
you
gonna be a
entered
cartographer.
through the south, there are 3 other passages out.
Mm.
There are halls that look, at least superficially, about the same as the one you came through. In the middle of each of the 4 walls,
Did you stop?
I
No,
did,
that's
yes.
it. There's
Then
just-
you have seen that there are 3 other ways into the,
Okay.
into the atrium. You can't see down any of them, but they're all similar in makeup to the one that you came from.
He was just building drama.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm,
That's what we'll call that.
Yeah, I can tell you more about any of them if you go down them, but for now.
You know,
While Dati is just exploring around and scouting out, and they haven't really decided on a destination, Ura's just kind of like sitting on the lip of the fountain and just watching.
Okay.
Araga stands kind of like in the middle, and she counts with her fingers and says, "There are 3 of us, and there are 3 different ways."
Yeah.
Do you have somewhere to be?
No.
Then why are you rushing?
She kind of looks a bit embarrassed at that. You see a flush take her features, and she takes a step back and lowers her head a little, and she's like, "Merely providing some options."
Dottie picks the leftmost one from the way they came in.
The entrance way? Okay, yeah. And she starts heading down it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Alright, well then,
Just to be clear, Ura and Ariga also go that way and don't
Yes, no, we're not splitting.
Hey, are you sure you don't want to go down one of the other passages?
Araga thinks about it.
Oh, Araga got lost.
You
Well,
could be having dinner with Henri right now if you got through this really quickly, right? So
she thinks about it. She really
She
wants to get
could be
back to her
going one
hot
of those
elf girlfriend. But she also wants to impress her hot elf girlfriend and get the job done.
not wandering off on her own this time.
Not wandering off on her own, because Henri did say very many times how upset she was about it. Upset's a strong word. Kind of stoically grace and okay, I'll stop hitting on her. Yeah, Arga
you won't.
follows. No, I won't.
So don't lie about things like this.
Ura, roll resolute +2.
Okay. I failed.
Okay. Yeah. So as you stand up from the fountain, you feel a sort of bone-numbing chill sweep through you, and for a moment, you really want to just kind of sit back down and kind of ponder life from the comfort of that perch again. It's not strong enough to make you just stay there, but it is sort of weighing on your mind as you walk away.
Alright. With a couple of glances back at the fountain, she begrudgingly continues on her way.
So the left passage here initially starts out quite similar to the one that you found the atrium by. It is the same width. It is made up of the same kind of greenish marble that's very lightly reflective to the torchlight. So the orange definitely overcasts the green as it kind of shines down the hallway. You can see that there isn't any heavy layered dust on the ground or anything quite like that. It seems clean, but not so much kept up as just untouched again as from the outside. As you walk forward, you really go far enough that the atrium is barely in view behind you before you come across a new chamber. So you'll step inside the chamber, and you'll find that it is made up of the same material as the rest of the complex so far, this granite-like with a greenish tinge. However, that's where a lot of the resemblances end, because this room has been almost overhauled. You can see that there are tables all along the left corner that offer a lot of space to hold various devices that appear to be like cast iron and bronze and other more modern, or what you'd imagine are modern inventions. There's a bookshelf along the left. On the right side of the wall, there's a fireplace that is roaring with flame, but for whatever reason, the room is not filling up with smoke. And in the middle of the room, there's kind of a circular table with a number of books on it that are open, and over one of these books stands a figure in a sort of a reddish robe that's kind of dull. It's more of a burgundy color.
Ron Burgundy.
Is he moving at all?
So the person has both hands on the edge of the table, and they're kind of leaning forward, and it looks from their attention like they're poring over one of the open books.
Okay. And hasn't turned to face us. Dati will pause, starting a bit, and double check that the other two see this first.
Do we see it?
Yes.
Are there any
Alright, let's
visible
double check.
weapons?
There are no visible weapons just laying around. The person isn't holding a weapon, but they are wearing a robe, so...
I don't know. Knowledge is power.
True. Very true.
Johnny will start to circle around the room to eye the man.
Okay.
Chat wants to know if he's hot.
Chat doesn't want to know. D wants to know.
He's part of chat.
What are Raga and Ura doing while Dati begins to circle the room?
It really depends on how hot this guy is.
Oh my lord. You can't tell. They're wearing a robe. You can't,
Well, I
you
don't
can't
know.
even see any...
They're wearing a thick robe in front of a roaring fire. They've got to be pretty hot.
Oh my god. Arga... Go ahead, sorry.
Ura goes and sits on the edge of the table.
Okay, so Dati begins circling the table and Ura just kind of slinks up and sits on the edge of the table.
Yeah, while facing this robe person.
Arga's gonna hang out by the way they had come. She's gonna be like a handful of paces away from all of them, kind of just keeping an eye out around and out as she has been doing.
Okay.
She's gonna leave the talking to the other guys.
Yeah, Dottie, as Ura kind of sits on the edge of the table, I would like you to roll Vigilant while you circle the room.
Okay. I find a party maker with my feet.
Hey.
8.
So did you take the side of the room where the fireplace is?
Left.
Or the side of the room? The left.
Wait,
okay,
sorry.
so-
Yeah, left going in. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I
So
don't know
you
which
will
that
be,
is.
Yeah, you'll be passing the set of tables in the corner, and then there are bookshelves. You are opposite to the fireplace.
Okay.
And about the moment that Ura sits down on the table's edge, you pass, tucked in against one of the bookshelves, the first bookshelf really, is what appears to be a very ancient corpse. Similar to the Draugr that you have fought previously. It stands with leathery skin and closed eyes and sort of rotted half leather, half metal armor. But it appears to be inanimate for the moment and simply standing against the wall.
Okay.
And yeah, so you continue circling around the room. Ura sits down right on the edge of the table. The close movement does attract the attention of the robed figure who had until now just been reading peacefully. And he startles. He straightens up. You can see that it is indeed a he. It's a man with actually quite a scarred face. And
Hot scars or
somewhat
ugly scars?
mangy beard. I mean, I guess it's a matter of perspective. I'd say probably ugly scars though. And he looks extremely surprised. He stares at Ura for a second. He kind of whips his head about this way and that to take in the fact that Arga is standing behind, the fact that Dati is moving along the side of the room with a torch held, and he blinks once and then he barks out a word that you don't understand. It's certainly not. It's not Elvish. It's not common.
Does it sound questioning?
No, it sounds alarmed.
Well, I don't understand it. This is your job now, Dottie.
If he barked, then Dati can understand. I'm kidding.
-5 points to stuff.
No.
Dati is going to still as he cries out and kind of like extend a hand and then like slowly lower it towards the floor in like a staying gesture. And then try responding in common, which I suppose is Ambrian.
Yeah, well, Ambria, yeah, a barbarian. Either
Hmm.
one would be common, I guess, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what does she say in Ambrian?
We don't speak that.
He'll take a step back from Aura and from Dati as well. They're kind of in line right now. And his eyes kind of flick from Aura to Dati as she speaks up. Makes the gesture. He'll ask, like, what are you doing here?
Looking over the room and not necessarily fully understanding where they are, where they are is, or anything about it,
Mm-hmm.
Dati will say very truthfully, we are here seeking wisdom and information.
This does not serve to alleviate the sort of bewilderment on this man's face. He kind of looks across the three of you again, and he just seems perplexed. But
Or
he
gives a smile and a wave.
ends up barking the same thing he said before, again, a little louder. Arga, go ahead and roll vigilance.
Okay. I have eyes.
Not if you roll a 20.
I have 2 eyes. Got it. Get it. This is 2.
Yeah, that was clever. So you can hear something scraping behind you.
It's a coffin.
Okay. I look.
Okay. Are you still at the doorway?
Yeah, more or less. Probably like a few paces in. Definitely not anywhere near where Ura, Dati, the table, the fireplace is. Definitely like at the mouth of the room, but
Right, because you said I think you said you'd move forward so that you're only like a couple paces away from Aura, right? In case something happened.
no, more closer to the door.
Okay. In that case, yeah, you can kind of see something beginning to resolve from the dim light of the passageway behind you. What it is up in the air right now, but it does sound armored.
Arga does have her sword kind of draped over her shoulders, and she lowers it down slowly, kind of casts a look over to Ura and Dati with a sort of tenseness in her form. You can tell that she's kind of lowering into a combat stance.
Have we heard this scraping sound yet?
I don't think either you would have. It's kind of just at the edge of Arga's hearing right now.
Alright, well then,
Jeez.
not facing Araga and not hearing the sound, Ura does not currently react.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Looking towards... Go on, Sally.
No. Go ahead.
Looking towards the undead, Dati, the not the undead, but in fact, just the dead right now. Hopefully, it's the dead. Please
stay
don't
dead.
take my impulsiveness
The still
as
dead.
any ability to change what is real.
Sorry,
They're
Kory.
still
He's
dead.
you've said that It's
Looking
undead.
towards
So.
the dead, as if it
Uh-huh.
might be undead. Dati
Uh-huh.
will then refocus upon the robed man in the center of the room. We are both used to giving commands and seeing them dealt with, but it would be wise if you did not give any, that you could not retract. Now
Go
is
ahead
the time for speaking.
and roll vigilance. Okay. You can't really see anything particularly telling about the dead undead creature by the bookshelf.
Mhm.
It still looks the same as you remember. The man kind of bristles at Dotty's statement, and he takes a step back from where Ura sits, kind of moving around the table such that he has it between himself and her and Dotty.
Dottie will make her circle so that is a hard place.
Okay, so she's
And a
circling in
short
the other
place.
direction, but from
Yes.
the far wall.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
We're making a sandwich.
Ura just looks incredibly amused by all this.
He's going to kind of shake his head at her as she nears, and he'll say, like, "You should not have come here. You will find no knowledge here." And sounds a little combative when he says that. It's a little. And he starts reaching under his robe.
Does smooth jazz come on?
No, combat
No.
music and roll for initiative comes up.
Oh, okay. Let me change the track then. All right, skipping over smooth jazz, going to Cry Havoc by Tabletop Audio.
Seeing him reach for what could potentially be a weapon, Ura stands up at this point and starts to look serious.
Okay.
Again, it would be best if you didn't do anything you can't undo.
Uh-huh.
Quick, keep threatening him.
Alrighty. So going to
Ooh, initiative.
So we're gonna start this off with Dottie. Rolling. Oh, there it is. Go ahead and roll your vigilance flat again.
Not like
Ain't
that.
shit.
Okay. Yeah. So you are caught off guard as the no longer dead undead by the bookshelf moves to attack you.
Okay.
Oh, you made it happen.
You shouldn't have been so impulsive, Kory.
Yeah. So Ariga can tell that the figure walking towards her is also a Draugr. It has not quite stumbled, not quite walked its way in from the hallway behind you to kind of close off that doorway with its frame. It's holding sort of a one-handed wooden
Sword.
oversized hatchet, I would say. And it's kind of fixing its gaze on her as the nearest breathing and living thing. And yeah, Ura's just kind of chilling by the table.
I was kind of hoping it was like a wooden practice sword, like not an actual weapon. Yeah. Guess not.
That would have been nice, huh?
Yeah.
It was actually 3 swords with the effectiveness of 4 swords.
Great Canadian guy. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for the raid, John. Welcome. We just started combat. There are some undeads
And
here.
we don't know combat. This could be initiative-based conversation.
Initiative-based combat. I mean,
Let
That's
me.
what every combat is when you're Dati.
yeah.
I'm
You
looking at
can't
the
hit me.
turn order here. We've got Draugr, which are the undead, and then we've got a cultist. I don't know how this conversation is going to go other than stab, stab.
Hold on. They're going to try and bore us with historical facts.
No, that's Dottie.
All the books.
And the cultist, we have to convince the cultist to abandon his mad religion before we get bored of the conversation because of all the historical facts the Draugr are throwing at us.
That's,
Otherwise, it's a fight.
That's definitely a good idea. Okay, so because Dottie is surprised, the Draugr adjacent to her gets a free attack at the start of the turn.
Okay.
So you should go ahead and roll to defend against
Minus 20.
-5. Wow, that's quite excellent for you.
Well. Oh.
Okay, so it's
I'll
not fair,
take it.
but it does miss because Dottie is just kind of standing there. She's not looking at the undead creature whatsoever. And I guess one of the real disadvantages of being undead is, you know, being in a body that's gradually falling apart. So when the Draugr advances and has like a scimitar that's kind of rusty and pitted in spots, and Dottie sees that scimitar just whip through the air like 2 centimeters away from her head, but it does not connect. And then combat starts in earnest. It's Ura's turn. So you can take a moment to kind of glance around and grip the situation. Otherwise, you are in proximity with a short move over to the cultist. You're hearing something move near Dottie. You're hearing something move near Ariga.
So the cultist hasn't immediately done anything hostile yet, other than like verbal hostility.
Correct.
Ura did just, like, at the very least in the corner of her vision, watch a Draugr take a wild swing at Dottie.
Also correct.
So she's gonna make her way over to that.
Okay.
And I'm assuming since Dottie was surprised and is not yet combat ready, I would not have advantage.
Right, yeah, no flanking advantage just yet. But you may attack the Draugr, which will be defensive 0.
So a flat roll. Alright. She pulls out her 2 daggers and then gets to stab him.
Okay.
So stiletto, and then a dagger with discreet advantage.
Okay. Okay. Roll that dagger again. Okay, so it's not
That
it's
was
not a
2
critical miss.
pretty
which is
high
good.
misses.
Yeah.
Alright, so only the 4 hit.
So you
Before
do
that.
get that. Excellent. And it is now Arga's turn.
Arga. Wait. The Draugr coming in from the tunnel and the Draugr in the room, which one would be closer?
Oh, definitely the one coming through the doorway from the hallway you come through.
Okay.
Because you said you were still near the mouth of the door. So.
Yes, absolutely. She is going to run up to it and smash.
Okay. Yeah, that'll just be a flat attack at 0.
Okay. Arga draws up her greatsword, which has cleaved many things, and she will bring it down in one massive blow, attempting to cleave this creature. Boop. Nope.
Does it count as many things if it's just the ground in a lot of different places?
Well, you know what? She hits the fuck out of the ground here. It's
She does, yeah.
Or did she hit the ceiling because she overestimates how tall the tunnel
I
is?
don't think she's that tall. So this greatsword, I mean, it does come swinging down, and it just shatters tile. It makes a large gouge through the floor here.
The Araga special.
Listen, if anyone ever needs some interior redecorating, Araga is your gal. That's my turn.
Kevin, to misquote the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus, no man can ever smash the ground twice, for it is different ground, and he is a different man.
Okay. Take your turn.
Okay. Dati gets out her club and bonks a skeleton.
Enjoy your advantage.
Thanks.
Yeah. So you can be flanking. So you can.
That's not
Why did
using.
you? Okay.
It's been a while. We skipped last week, he said, knowing it wasn't true.
Dotty's club starts speaking.
It's because your attack roll is persuasive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you can roll. Okay. 1d8. Oh, 7 damage.
Hey. She bonks him right on the helmet.
Okay.
Does he have a helmet?
He has half a helmet.
Yes, he does have a helmet, and it rattles as you bonk it with your spiked club. So Draugr don't really show pain, and sometimes they don't even show damage, and this one, looks more or less the same as when you started beating it up.
Okay.
And it is Draugr's turn. So, we'll start with the third Draugr, which is entering from the far side of the room. And it will walk its way up to Dati and to Ura. Which one of you is closer to that doorway, by the way? I guess it's Dati, actually, because she was
I would
walking
assume
around
I
the
would be
room.
able to be
Oh,
inside.
no, because Dati was circling around the table, whereas Ura just sat upon the table, right?
Right, this is the
Dati-
far side of the room from where you entered.
Oh, I thought it. Oh, you were
This
saying.
is the third one. Mm-hmm.
So there's another doorway.
There is a doorway on the
I'm
far
adding
side.
that now.
And Draugr is coming from there,
Then yes, it's done.
and it reaches Dati and it tries to attack her.
-7.
Well,
Persuasive.
yeah. So I guess you would roll to defend.
Aggressively and wildly swings out with her club at this oncoming enemy to try and ward off.
So roll persuasive at -3.
It sounds like a good way to hit me.
Okay.
Oh god.
Dati is not able to convince him. Now, I think this will. No, yeah, I guess you are engaged by the other one right now. So yeah, go ahead and roll to defend at -7. Okay.
I
Do
should
that
have used
again, but
armor.
with armor, yeah. It's
Yeah.
been a while. We didn't play last week, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Dati didn't
you
get hit
take
last.
6 points of damage.
Okay.
Is that pain?
No, actually.
Nice.
Not. So I know that hit points are what stop you from dying, and I want as many of them as possible.
It's a very good approach to surviving. Okay, so it's Draugr number 2's turn,
Uh-huh.
which is going to turn. It's the other Draugr that's by Ura and by.
So
Dati.
there are currently 3 Draugr in the cultist here.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
That's why when I started, I said we'll start with the third Draugr who's entering the room
Gotcha.
from the far side.
We just gotta make sure that everyone's math is correct.
Gotcha.
Just
Yeah.
'cause it's
So
8:30
Draugr
doesn't
number
mean-
2 is the Draugr. Well, I guess I actually have it labeled as Draugr number 1 here.
Who's correcting who
It is
now?
taken down. Yeah, I'm correcting myself. Shocks. So it's going to turn from Dati to face Ura, and it is going to try to cut her into pieces. So
So-
go ahead and roll to defend at -5.
So it's 1 and 3 that are fighting us?
Yep.
Okay. Nailed it. -5.
Yep. Nice. Okay. So it swings heavily with this curved, pitted scimitar, and Ura just dances out of the way. And our last Draugr number 2, is going to try and attack Arga while she's collecting her greatsword out of the ground. Go ahead and roll to defend at -5.
Oh, help! Easy.
Arga is a warrior.
Arga nimbly dips out of the way.
She blocked it with her butt armor. All right, Stella, I have made a comprehensive combat map.
I see that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Now I want to draw on it.
Never point out something that you can draw on to Stella if you want her to be focused.
Well, I finished my turn. I mean, it's not my turn. Never mind. I'm paying attention, I promise.
All right, now it's the cultist's turn. While Stella's busy drawing, what does
It is
McRobes do?
McRobes, as
Thank
he
you.
has now been dubbed, is going to look over towards Araga, where she is engaged with a juggle, and he's going to pull out a piece of polished black stone from within his robe. And as he holds it aloft, he shouts something arcane sounding. And the glass sort of begins to dissolve into a mist. Stella, go ahead and roll. Does this work? Can you just flip a test? I think you could just flip a test. Roll your quick at flat. Incidentally.
A.
She kind of quick though.
Yeah. So this kind of black mist solidifies into a line, and it's kind of like a dart, but it's about a foot long and maybe half an inch wide or so. And then it just jets out towards Araga, but she's able to slip out of the path of this bolt, and it strikes the far wall and it shatters into pieces. And that is his turn. Ura, you're up.
All right. Ura is into full stabbing mode on the one that just attacked her.
Okay. You will be just attacking at flat.
Okay. Because we're fighting different things, no one has advantage, right? Right?
No, I'm sorry. You are flanking it because
Dati is fighting this one currently.
Dati, yeah, you both hit the same one at this point. So you do get advantage. +2.
Oh, all right. Advantage damage. And then advantage damage. Oh wait, hold on. That is right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was making sure I didn't have it roll 1-4. And then this is for the discreet with double advantage.
I don't think you get double advantage.
Yeah, the damage die is doubled.
Because of because of feint.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to use discreet for that attack, and then I get automatic advantage, and advantage damage is 2d4 instead of 1d4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you carve it up. It is in pieces by the end of this.
Yeah, 10 the first hit, 8 the second hit, 12 the third hit.
Yeah. Very dead.
She just dismembers it, like with a good slash, takes off one arm, second slash takes off the other arm, and with the third one just cleanly cuts off its head.
Okay. What Araga do?
Arga smash.
Nice.
-5.
No.
Nope.
0.
She cleaves the earth again. It's very effective.
Okay. Good.
She's tilling the soil for future farmers.
Yeah.
Dati, it is your turn.
Dottie is going to look over at Ura and say, "Thank you," and then try bonking the remaining Draugr.
Okay.
At flat.
Yeah, it's 0.
Ooh.
8.
That's a tasty hit.
8 damage.
At this point, Ura's chest is glowing red once again.
Right. Yes, you're equal. Okie dokes. It is the Draugur's turn. So, the one with Dati is going to try to hit Dati, since she's hitting it. And that's what it was doing at the start. Go
Does
ahead
Dottie say
and
no you?
roll to dissuade it. It
Yes.
is a -3.
Yeah.
Seems they're pretty resolute.
They are. It is part of being undead, I think.
You don't care.
-5 for getting hit.
Yes, roll to defend at -5.
Ouch.
Okay, that's going to be another 6 points of damage.
Oh dear.
Ooh, how
she
Daddy looking? She
1
looking about
out of 7. Or if
What?
you had to, if for some reason you had to double the fraction for no reason, I don't know why you would. It would be 2 out of
2
14.
out of 14.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
At
Good
least it
hit.
wasn't pain threshold, so you don't immediately go down.
Yeah. No, she looks like she got hit as hard as this thing can hit her by ramming her body into the hit as much as possible each time, and it sucks.
She's
not
just
standing
headbutting
very
the
well.
weapon.
Oh,
I'm
grotto.
sorry?
I said
Oh,
she
yeah.
was just headbutting the
Wow,
weapon.
that's rough. Yeah, so those hits land. Perhaps the only time we've ever seen Dottie get hit back to back by attacks successfully.
While other people are alive.
While other people are up, yeah. And it takes heavy blows. This guy has like a spiked club, probably more of a mace than a club, honestly. Dottie's is a club with a little spike on it. But this is a mace, and it keeps slamming into Dottie, and it is pulverizing her. The Draugr over with Arga will likewise try to attack, so go ahead and roll to defend at -5.
-5.
Oh, Araga, not Ura. Wait, I thought it was -5 because they were doing advantage attacks. Is it just...
No, it's -7 with advantage.
Ooh, that's spooky.
Okay, so Arga will take 3 points of damage.
Okay. As she gets struck, she cries out bloodily and she just grits her teeth and bears the brunt of it, looking incensed.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah. Owie.
Alrighty.
That was a visceral cry.
The cultist lets out kind of a low snarl and produces another chip of this polished black stone. And again, he will let out this arcane sound, and again, the stone will begin to kind of turn into a mist. So, Arga, go ahead and roll your
Quick.
quick. Yes, I was looking at the wrong stat block there. Yeah, just quick, flat.
This is what you get for having so many muscles.
My muscles are so fast. Oh, dang. Not fast.
Close.
You didn't flex enough.
All right. So this time, this bolt kind of lances through Arga, and it disappears as it strikes her. It doesn't cause a visible wound or anything like that. But Arga, it does feel like something has just lanced through your body. So go ahead and take 1d6 damage.
1? 3. Okay.
Okay. So you
That's
take 3 points of damage, and you feel Your muscles lock.
I don't like that. I need my muscles.
See, I told you they were targeting your muscles, Stella.
God damn it.
I warned you.
Feel your muscles lock. You are paralyzed.
No.
Well, it was nice knowing you. Now it's my turn.
It is. Go ahead, Aura.
And I get advantage again, right?
Yes, you do.
Alright. So then at 2 instead of flat.
Mm-hmm.
The attack, right? Just making sure. First hit. Second hit, and then the discrete hit.
Jeez.
Okey-dokes.
10, 9, 7.
What the fuck?
She is meant for pure damage.
Okey-dokes.
Because our big problem was rolling low on damage and just not getting rid of a target early.
Yeah, so that kills the Draugr. It is super dead.
She just violently just stabs it in the head repeatedly until it stops moving at all.
Get over to Araga.
I don't know, you seem very hard to keep alive.
Speaking of Arga, it is her turn. Unfortunately, she is paralyzed. So go ahead and make...
Well, he has a move. Or she has a move.
Oh, I have a move.
Yeah.
She will hear what you're saying, but instead head towards the cultist and, like, get up in his face.
That's fair.
Okay. So, it is Arga's turn, and she is paralyzed. So
Yes.
go ahead and roll Resolute. At flat.
Ooh. I have a high resolute. I should totally
Yeah.
nail this. Right?
Use your muscular heart.
Oh,
Did you say at 5 or at -5? Or flat?
he
At
said
flat.
flat.
Okay.
Okay.
So there were no
Alright.
5s.
Arga flexes. Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Oh my goodness.
It's a cram!
Oh my god.
Go ahead
Oh
and
my
roll again.
Please
Oh
don't
my god. Oh, thank
Okay,
god.
alright. So you just
I-
fail, that's all.
I almost crit failed there.
I had a
Holy
flashback.
shit.
I had a
that would've
flashback
been
of
really
someone
funny.
throwing soap at a glowing orb.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so Arga tries to flex her way out of this paralysis, but it doesn't work.
Oh my god.
It is Dotty's turn.
It must be a new problem for her.
Alright.
Remote is not helping her.
So there's a problem with Dati going to help Araga. So she's not going to do that. Where is this cultist?
Still by the table. But
Okay, Dati climbs up on the table, charges over to the cultist, and tries to knock him the fuck out.
Okay.
Why you gotta say it like that, Kevin?
So it will, like, you'll have to disembark from the table to attack him.
Oh, well then she just goes around the table.
Just goes around. Okay, all right, that's fine. Because he did, like, back up a little when Ura was still sitting there.
Yeah, she just goes
But
around the
very
table
thematic. Like,
and goes to whack him in the head.
He does a
Okay.
front flip off the table for no reason.
yeah, go ahead and roll to attack at +5.
Plus advantage, so 7?
No, you are not. You do not have advantage yet.
I am not engaged yet, I'm just here.
Okay, so that's
Oh,
2
damage.
points of damage. Okay, yeah. So you do manage to connect with the club. He kind of rolls his shoulder away from the blow, and the barb of the club really only seems to catch the fabric of the cloak. Or the robe, rather. Okay. It is the Dragger's turn. It will try to attack Araga,
Oh my god,
who's
I'm ready.
paralyzed.
I'm ready for this crit success.
Yeah. So I guess roll to defend at -7.
Well,
Wow,
that was a
that's an
very
awful
good
lot of negation right there.
Yeah.
So
1?
you will take the extra damage from the advantage, so it's going to be 3 points of damage again.
Okay.
Good thing you have armor.
Yeah, I've got really good armor.
Master
Okay.
at arms.
That is the Dragger's turn. It is now the Cultist's turn.
The cultist says I give up.
I could make him do that if I had a lot more experience.
So as the Cultist is beset by enemies, he's going to turn his attention to Ura.
Hello.
And he glares at her, and as he glares at her, his eyes go from dark to pitch black. You see no trace of white or iris color at all. And it almost looks like the veins of his skin are beginning to run a little dark as well. And I guess, I will roll Resolute for this fellow. Yeah, or it feels
Okay.
fine.
Also, isn't that a continuing ability?
Pardon?
On
Araga?
on Araga. Isn't that a continuing ability? Like a maintain?
Yes. But he doesn't roll to sustain it. Araga rolls to beat it.
Okay.
So this was to apply an effect to Ura.
Gotcha.
It's not a D&D concentration check.
Well, but that is how some of them work. That's why I was
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah, you can break his concentration with damage on Araga, incidentally. So if you hurt him enough, she will be free.
Alright, I'm gonna try to hurt him enough now that his smolder has failed.
Yeah, that's actually really fortunate for you that it did fail. Go ahead and roll to attack at advantage. So +2 or +7 to attack.
Apply daggers.
Alright, here are the two. Alright, but still have advantage. And then the discreet dagger. Before I roll advantage, let me see if that somehow fails. Alright.
20 attack
It's
hit.
just a normal.
Alright, it's just
Yeah.
a normal hit.
So
But
you do 2 damage plus your bonus rolls of 6, so that's 8
So
and
6,
8.
8, 8.
And
Damn.
6.
Is Ura a glass cannon?
In the sense that she has no health, but she's hard to hit.
Okay,
Like, I put everything into quick.
gotcha.
Okay, so that does sever the concentration of the spell that's holding Araga in place. It also just kills him.
She just stabs him in both eyes after he gave her that look.
Okay.
Wow.
Measured response. So both of this guy's eyes just get destroyed by puncture wounds from the knives. He staggers back with a weak cry and sort of collapses to the ground, which frees Araga. So she may take her turn on her turn, which is now.
This is your moment.
This is my
This
moment.
This is when you crit and roll max damage twice.
Maximum muscles.
On the ground.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's a hit! Wow.
It's okay. Her muscles were still locking up slightly. They were getting used to having movement again.
All right, so that is 1 damage to the driver. And now it is Dati's turn.
Dati?
Oh, sorry.
Dati has abandoned you.
No, Dati has not abandoned anyone. I mean, in the sense that, like, Dottie's not going to be there for you because you need someone to tank for you. Dottie
I
has
know
abandoned,
one person that was abandoned by Dati.
but, no, Dottie will head over to the remaining Draugr now that the cultist has dropped to the ground with no eyeballs and rather impressively expanded eye holes. And she'll bonk the Draugr on the back of the head.
Okay. Roll to attack at +2.
Wow.
Okay. Dottie does not, in fact, bonk the Draugr on the back.
Well, at least that was the best way you could have missed.
Yeah.
It is the Draugr's turn. So go ahead and roll to defend Stella at -5.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
Ow!
At least it's not an advantage.
You said 6?
Mm-hmm.
You have 18 health, at least, right?
No. I have 1
Oh.
hit point.
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
You know, if you double that
Dottie's
fraction,
doing twice as well as you are.
if you double that fraction, you've got Dottie's health.
Righty. So, yeah, again, the Draugr sort of just cuts heavily into Arga's body, rending through chainmail and causing quite a bit of damage. It is Ura's turn.
Hearing Araga most likely cry out at that very solid hit, Ura just blitzes over to them, slides into the group, and then just straight into the gut, just starts stabbing as hard as she can.
Okay, yeah. So roll your 3-2 attacks at advantage.
What's the chance to hit for him?
+2.
2. Then this. 10, 8, 12.
Okay, yeah, it's dead.
Eviscerated. That's a good word.
Very much so. I mean, well, not really.
Well, look, if you
because-
just keep stabbing it in the ribs enough, eventually, like, that section of the half will be gone, and it'll just fall over.
I'm not sure you can eviscerate something that is undead already and, like, desiccated and dry and stuff.
Look, we're just we're Caesaring it.
Okay. Yeah, so the last of the Draugr fall. The cultist is dead. The three of you kind of emerge in relative states of being beat up. The relative states being either almost dead, in the case of Arga and Dati, and completely fine, in the case of Ura.
Wow.
That was a great fight. She walks over to the cultist and uses robe to clean her daggers.
I told him not to do anything he couldn't undo.
Arga sits down.
As does Dottie.
Well, depending on who his master is, she points a dagger at him. Maybe it could be undone. I wouldn't mind a round 2.
He can't undo it, at least.
She nods at that. And then she goes to pick up whatever book he had been looking at, and then attempts to bring it over to Dati.
Okay. I'm not going to be able to read that, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, I was actually just looking to see if he had Lore Master.
No. Dottie does not have Lore Master.
You know who had Lore Master?
Oh! Secret Lore Master. We have the
It'd be really useful right now, yeah.
Well, we might as well take it and maybe a couple others with us. Could help out later down the line.
You know who could read this? My hot elf girlfriend.
Do you say those words?
No, she says, "Hello, Henri."
Well,
Henri might be able to read it. And she will not overmuch mind, as long as none of us attempt to.
or alas, I doubt any of us could.
Sometimes even aping the words is dangerous.
She shrugs and just shoves the book into her pack. It's not really my kind of thing.
Reading.
Not enough
All right.
stab.
So, what do the three of you get up to now?
You are should tend to Segra.
Oof.
Who?
Raga. Fuck.
You're impulsive. You're impulsive. You said that.
Who's Segra?
And why do you keep calling me?
Yeah, I know. This has been a couple of times that Dati has done this, unless it's not in character.
No, it's okay if it's in character.
No.
Slip ups happen.
Arga just kind of gives you a look, but she just lays down.
Dottie, or no.
Just lays down, like in the middle of the floor there.
Yeah.
Right, no, I was just curious.
Or glances over at the very large woman covered in wounds, just lying there. You got medicine for that?
Yep. She just kind of like reaches into her bag, just flops out an herbal cure, weakly holds it up.
I love that Arga, like 90% of Arga's character is being wounded and just flopping down by people and being like, heal me. He sees NPCs, she's just like,
The whole reason we had that massive party split was because Arga did not give up on trying to get this hot elf to
my
heal her.
Takes the herbal cure and glances at it before looking back at Dottie.
Dottie is sitting with her eyes closed.
You lot end up like this a lot.
Dottie is practicing breathing steadily in and out and does not respond.
Arga responds with a
She shrugs and then tells Araga to take off her chest plate.
Arga needs help, but yeah, she'll like expose the wounds and be as patient as she can in receiving the medical attention.
Alright, Ura is not gentle.
Ow.
She's kind of an asshole about it.
Damn. The whole time, Arga's just thinking about how Elo Henri is much better at this and how she misses her touch. And how this is fucking awful.
Alright, well, here's your 1 hit point back. You're welcome.
Thanks.
In the meantime, Dottie is getting back 2 hit points.
okay.
Huzzah! And then, yeah, that's, she'll just kind of sit through the whole, medical treatment of Araga. And as that starts to wrap up, she'll start to get up.
Okay. Does she take the moment to, like, use an herbal cure on herself, or no?
No, not yet, I don't think.
Not yet? Okay. Alright.
In fractions, how does everyone look? Araga looks like
2.
double what she was before.
Yeah.
1 out of
Dottie-
7.
Dottie also looks double what she
Double.
was before.
Hey, Arga looks exactly the same as Dottie.
You get confused about which is which. No. Dottie is going to just peer down the hallway a little bit.
The further one?
Yeah, the further one.
Okay. It's quite gloomy and a little difficult to see beyond the frame of the doorway, but you can see that it goes on for some distance.
I would keep one like this, and Dati will gesture towards the blinded cultist close to me.
Or shakes her head at that, saying, if we were to rest somewhere in here, a room with its own hearth, furniture would probably be best suited.
We can keep that in mind, but this place is inhabited as well. The longer we spend here, the more likely we are to be found.
She slowly turns her head to Araga. Your friend here looks like she's gonna go unconscious if she so much as tripped.
It might be best if we stay here instead of moving. We don't have an idea what might be up ahead. Is the entrance wider than the table?
No.
We could use
It's a round table, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Let's not do anything to reveal our presence and hope anyone passing by merely ignores the room.
Ura looks at the corpses.
The bodies.
3 of them are supposed to be that way.
True.
She just sort of scoots the table over the cultist.
Dati is going to go to the cultist and nicely tuck him into the corner.
Okay.
Just like cover him in books.
No, just set him in the corner. You know, if somebody's gonna come in and investigate, they're gonna see the 3 people in here that aren't supposed to be in here. You know, there's just...
Clearly, we just, take a nap against the wall where the entrance is, so anyone walking past can't see.
Yeah. Dati's gonna head...
ourselves as Draugr.
Dati's gonna head to Araga and crouch in front of her. Time isn't going to do you much good.
That sounded like a threat.
Araga will groan loudly with great discomfort, and she sort of uses her sword to help her back up onto her feet, and then she slings it over her shoulders. She says, "All right, well, then we keep moving."
Ura looks between the 2 of them and then pauses while looking at Dati and says, alright, if this is the course of action you wish to take, which one of you is more important to keep alive?
Dati will not answer that.
Araga just sort of grins.
You both look as if you're about to keel over. If I can only stop one of you from getting to Death's Door, should know which one is more vital to whatever endeavor we're on.
Well, one of us has a romantic plotline arc.
Did she say that?
No.
One of us has already gotten the flags for a romance. The other is Dati.
Take care of her. And then Dati starts down the hallway.
Araga will gesture Ura to go next.
Ura shrugs and goes next.
And Araga will follow at the flank.
This is how they die.
So she can look at butts.
Oh,
Wink.
Ura's got a great butt.
Oh. Okay, let me take some
Full of-
notes.
Full of confidence and toned from her athletic nature.
Oh no, man. Butt's gotta have that little bit of jiggle, though.
I think the next game I run, everyone's just gonna be a robot, and it's gonna be
You
like
are
a
gonna do a
maintenance
quick phase
robot
too.
where like there are no features whatsoever.
So you are
The
going to do a quick
box.
phase too next.
I'm instantly game. I am so hyped.
No, let's just all play Bullywugs.
We
Robot.
do a sequel to Stella's cleanup crew, except we're all janitor robots.
Nice. My janitor robot is pink and bedazzled.
So you go down the hallway,
Kevin's like, we're done.
Okay.
and it goes on for a little while, and before long, you end up running into a cave-in. The portion of this structure that has been protected from, all the land over and such, apparently runs out quite abruptly. The hallway cuts off into rubble and boulders and chipped tile, as if Argo were in combat for a very long time in the area. To the left, right around this spot.
I'll take that as a compliment, as Araga is a destructive force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that's good. And the door on the left appears to lead into almost sort of a dormitory.
Ooh.
There are rows of bunks, and well, there might be more, but you need to go inside to.
I know how to get past
Beyond
this
that.
cave-in. We take that table, we cut it in half, we take both halves and make a hole, and then we go through the hole and leave.
Dati goes into the dormitory.
Okay. All right. Yes. So once you're in the dormitory, you can see that it does indeed have 8 beds that are sort of not quite cots, but relatively narrow, lined up along the left-hand wall. And on the right-hand wall, there are 2 tables that are pushed against the wall that allow, for a handful of seats. There are some chests in the back of the room with little padlocks on.
Quick, Araga, something to smash.
What's their
is
smashing
anyone-
noise?
Is anyone in the beds?
Not that you can tell.
Do the beds look recently disturbed?
Uh-huh.
How many of them look recently disturbed?
5.
Ura's gonna pull out her stiletto and do like a sweep of all the beds.
Okay. Like a visual sweep, or are you like stabbing each of the beds?
Well, I mean, if it's just like a flat bed, she's not gonna stab it.
I just wanted to get a picture of how Euro operates here.
But if she sees someone in the bed, she's about to get ready to stab.
Okay.
Man, I am resonating with this so much because I don't know about y'all, but I've like just always lived with people that like to hide and jump out and spook me. And one thing that people seem to like to do is to like crawl into bed and pretend that they're sleeping. So like I have this thing where if I see a bed and there's a lump, even if it's like a blanket lump,
With you?
no, I just impulsively have to poke the lump to make sure it's not a person. I don't know. Okay, that's my story. I'm done.
All right, so about the
That
bed,
was a good one. That was a good story.
I really loved the ending.
It almost got to an ending. Yeah, that's.
It's almost like when Kevin was describing those walls.
Oh man. All right. So yeah, Ura sweeps from bed to bed to make sure that there is no one hiding in them, and it does not appear that there are. It is the dormitory is empty for the time being. 5 of the 8 beds appear to have been used somewhat recently, and then the rest of the room is as I described.
All right. So does Araga immediately go over and try to smash the locks on the chest?
No, she's gonna kind of post up by the door, like inside the room. Kind of keep an ear and eye out that way.
All right.
I think this is evidence that we don't have time to wait to be found.
Ura is gonna take her thin stiletto and see if she can jimmy the lock.
The padlock on one of the chests?
Yes.
Okay. Just a second.
It explodes. Kevin's looking at his list of dumb shit they shouldn't do.
The very first item on that list is throw soap at
No, the
ancient
very first
relic.
item on this list is touch the elf's butt.
Shit, I didn't try that.
You would not have survived.
Oh no, man, we held hands, okay?
But you didn't held butts.
Listen, gotta...
That's the next level shit.
Go ahead and roll cunning at -5.
-5?
Yeah.
Alright.
Stiletto is not really a good tool to try and do this with,
But she is very kind.
but it's proficient. Sufficient, I should say.
It wasn't a very good lock.
Yeah, it is apparently a very bargain bin. It's like a what, master lock, I think those are called.
Oh, are you sure it's not a novice lock?
And yeah, just looking at it honestly is enough to make it open up.
It's all in the eyes, man.
So the padlock slips open. You may investigate the chest.
She pockets the lock and opens up the chest.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll 1d100.
$34.
Right. So inside the chest, you find an assortment of clothing, as well as a few other trinkets that don't appear to have all that much meaning to you. Just, like little necklaces. There's a little journal that appears to be written in a language that you don't recognize.
Things that
It's
seem
quite
more
hieroglyphic.
sentimental than valuable.
Right, exactly. But sort of near the middle of the chest, swaddled in some like a shirt, there is a statue, or statuette, I should say, of Jade. That's yeah. It's actually, you open up the chest and it just springs out.
It's bigger on the inside.
So it's a cat statuette.
Ooh.
In jade. It's about the length of your forearm. It's a little shorter and about as thin. The tail kind of just runs up the back. It isn't like a distinct thing that sticks out at all. You can investigate it more if you want. That's what you see at first.
She gives out an involuntary whistle at the sight of it.
Okay.
And she reaches to pick it up.
Okay.
Roll to take permanent
No,
corruption.
that was definitely Kevin's. Ooh, he's done something.
Like I said, roll for permanent corruption.
Look, as long as this isn't a two-handed sword, I can just kill myself with.
What do you do when you pick it up?
Lick it.
So does it have a base, or is it just like the paws are freeform?
So it's kind of like where it's sitting and its hind legs form a base, but it doesn't have like a discrete base or anything. It's just meant to balance on. If that makes sense, because it's sitting up.
So she like sets it on her palm and sort of like looks at the back of it and then like turns to show it to Dati. Like, hey, look at this thing.
Dati eyes all of this with deep and utter disapproval because we don't know where any of these things have come from and what they could be at all.
We
Kevin,
know exactly
Yeah.
where it came from.
I have not really asked too many stupid questions this
Sure.
I
session.
don't know. You asked
Yeah.
about that tunnel a couple of times.
Did they model the kitty's toe beans?
I hate you. I hate you so much. You've been the one bastion of reasonableness in this group, and you just threw it out, Kory.
I'm sorry, you
threw
brought
it
in
out.
kitties, and
You brought in the cats.
Oh,
You brought
my
this upon
lord.
yourself. If it was
Yeah.
a raccoon, if it was a fucking ferret or a mongoose, it would be. You wouldn't get these sort of questions, man.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, they did
Dottie,
not.
Okay, Dottie views this with disapproval and says, "You shouldn't take that."
Do you look it in the eyes?
No.
Wait. The way you phrase that makes it sound like if there were toe beans, your response would have been different.
Dottie's response would not have been different.
Okay.
But you're impulsive, so
Oh dear.
We need to see if they've. It's not likely, but look for parchment. See if they've mapped this area out. They may have, as they may be excavating it.
Go ahead and roll vigilant, Ura.
flat.
Yep.
Coin flip. It was tails.
Okay.
This entire
yeah.
time, Arga's just by the door.
I don't notice anything. Is that what you
You
said?
do not. Correct. Yeah.
Then she wraps the cat back up and goes to put it in her pack.
Well, if there's no maps or anything, Dottie starts leading the way out.
What about the other one? She calls out.
The other what?
There were two chests, weren't there?
Yep.
She points at the other chest right next to her.
Look.
All right. Cunning -5 to
She gets,
shiv the padlock.
She gets a very wide and thin grin like a Cheshire cat. Hey.
Wow.
Succeeding where it
What the
matters.
fuck?
We have a loot goblin.
Alright,
Said
go ahead and
roll.
roll 1d100.
Ooh. Another 34, just a second cat in there.
That would
Oh.
do something.
Would have established a lore for this.
Alright, so fairly similar in this chest. You have your same assortment of sentimental trinkets, clothing. There is sort of a rolled up scroll with a red band around the center holding it shut to one side. And additionally, near the middle, similar to where you found the cat statue, kind of wrapped up in some clothing, you discover about a thumb-sized hollow orb that's green, but there's sort of this red stripe running through the middle of it and somehow contained in the hollow space as well.
So it's kind of like a marble.
Yeah, it is kind of like a marble, but hollow.
Alright, so first off, she just tosses the scroll over to Dottie without even really looking at it.
Okay.
And
Dottie
then she
looks
picks
at
up the marble.
Okay, so you will have to break the seal to open.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm gonna do it anyway, but like, obviously, now there's like, oh god. But Dottie breaks the seal.
Okay. Yes. So Dottie breaks the seal, and opens the scroll. Go ahead and roll your resolute.
Okay.
You mean his persuasive?
Nah.
I do mean his persuasion. Yes. Okay. So you do feel just like a little shiver on the back of your neck as you open up the scroll. However, it's so distant it's certainly not something that you can connect to the scroll. It could just be the discomfort of opening up a scroll in a dungeon, etc., etc.
Some sort of random thing that you don't know what it is or the problem
Right.
itself, but you said you were looking for parchment, and what is a scroll if not parchment?
True. Yeah, so you open up the scroll, and
You
it
got
is
it.
blank.
I don't think this is as blank as it looks to be.
I thought the same thing about our friend.
Dati passes the scroll over to Ura. Keep this with the book.
She also shoves it into her loot sack and then picks up the marble. Does anything dangerous come of it, Kevin?
Not right now, no. Sorry, it's just a marble. As far as you can tell, that's hollow with that's green, with a red stripe going through it.
Alright. She also keeps it, and then she thinks better of taking the locks, closes the chest, and puts the locks back on.
Oh, okay.
Alright, I'm ready to go.
Let's quietly.
Arga will step out into the hall, look left, look right.
We're off to see the wizard.
Sure. Yeah. So the hallway looks empty still. To the left is a cave in, and to the right is the way back.
Dati leads the way back.
Okay. So you pass through the same room. Do you stop in the fireplace room, or do you keep going back?
Scanning the papers and etc. again for anything that might be a
Okay,
map of
sure.
their
Yeah. So
excavation
anyone
work.
who's hunting around can roll vigilant in this room.
Arga will hang out by the fire.
I think at this point, since threats have been seen, Ura would be looking around.
Okay.
Not very good at it.
Mm-hmm. But she's looking. Okay, sure. So, actually, on the center of the table, amidst the books that are open, Dati is able to find a sort of scrawled out map, maybe? It does appear to center on something that is labeled a fountain, and then the western branch, or the left branch, describes that there's a sort of a workshop, which you can kind of infer is where you are now, and then there's dormitories, and then from the north of the fountain you'll see that there's a dining hall, and then beyond the dining hall to the north there's a room that is described as a guard room, and then to the right there are a few rooms, but they aren't labeled. The only other thing of note is that the fountain has kind of a red star by it, but there's no legend as to what that means.
Okay. Dati will kind of share this and pass the map on to Ura.
Arga, for her part, while she's lounging by the fireplace, accidentally kind of disturbs a stone that's built up around the fireplace, and it had looked like it was part of the fireplace, but in fact was a fairly thin tablet leaned up on top of it.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of topples off the edge and falls to the ground with a pretty loud clatter. But you can see where it has laid. There's sort of an odd sigil etched into the center of the tablet. It's probably about the size, like 6 inches by 4 or 5.
Arga kind of has that, oop, whoops, my bad, kind of look on her face. She stoops down, picks it up, and turns it around and over in her hand, trying to just look over it.
Yeah, it looks pretty much just as I described. There isn't much more to it.
And then Arga just sort of thrusts it out towards Ura.
Ura is currently staring at the map. She just mutters, half to herself, half out loud. We should really go back to that fountain. It was really relaxing.
They clearly view it to be of some importance. But with that map, you are now the one you need to keep alive.
What does the sigil look like exactly? Is it more like an arcane character or more like a picture of some kind?
It is pretty much an arcane character.
Okay. Alright, so she just sort of flops it down on the map, literally putting it in front of Ura, and then she just walks back over to the fire, and she just kind of reclines against it a little bit.
Okay.
So, also unlabeled should be the rooms and hallway opposite us currently from the fountain.
Yes, that is what is unlabeled.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was off to the right or off opposite us through the dining hall.
No.
Okay.
So you guys could be west right now if you want to use cardinals. North was where the dining hall and the guard room are, and east is the unlabeled set of rooms.
Yeah. Okay.
Ura puts the tablet into her pack and then holds the map for a moment before saying, I'm not really good with maps. Tend to get lost pretty easily.
That map is the closest thing we have to an answer right now. It is more important than our lives. As long as one of us lives, it has more information than the rest of us have gathered so far. You will take it back if you have to.
She just shrugs at that, or rolls it up, and then slides it into one of her belt loops.
So that's what the sigil looks like that you were carrying.
It's a keyblade.
At what point do you think we should return?
Can we return? I don't remember the way we got here being natural.
We wouldn't be deposited without a way out. After all, they had to come in here from some way.
Yeah, but was our mission not to stop some big bad? Maybe they didn't plan a way out.
Our mission is to find the way.
Well, should we head back to the tunnel then? Take this knowledge and leave? Or
We don't have the way. It may lie around the fountain, as you were suggesting. But I don't have any suggestions. Does anyone else?
It seems that the fountain is the centerpiece. Perhaps we investigate it to see if we can divine some sort of sense. Go on from there.
While I really like that idea, we haven't gotten anything new for it unless she looks back to her pack, unless one of these things helps. If there's something more we need for it, we would have to come back here
The
again.
symbol on the map isn't anything like the symbol on the tablet. So no, I don't think we have any ideas. I think we're more likely to find people. Which is something we don't want. If we head towards the dining hall on the guard room. But only just.
Well, you two are the ones a ghost's breath away, so I'll leave the choice of your life up to you.
Dati's going to consider that, and then I suppose some time having passed, she'll actually probably try applying an herbal cure herself before, or while saying, I think we should expand the map.
So what happens when we walk into a room and there are 5 people?
4.
You mentioned a guard room. How many beds are going to be in the guard room?
Well, we saw. She points back to the sleeping room. There were plenty of beds in there. Most didn't look used. I don't think they would need even more in another room. Unless that was a secondary bedroom, in which case we're likely dead anyway, if it's full. So either our enemy are few, or our enemy are numerous. There is no middle ground.
I'm not exactly in my fighting form.
She admires you for a moment.
I don't think that I would be able to handle more than 1 or 2.
Dati will nod as she considers that. That's why all our most important information is with someone else. Do you think we should go investigate the dining room and the guard room?
Oh.
Did you crit?
Oh my god, I crit success. Okay.
So you're certain of whatever that success was.
Listen. I don't want to die. I know my limits. I would be more confident if you were in better shape. But together we are quite wounded. And if this path is the way to the Solemn King, then it will not move, it will stay here. We should at the very least know where the tunnel will open up. And try to see if there is an exit. What
That
happens
looks
if we're
like
going...
Oh, okay, go.
Dati, what now?
Dati looks to Ura.
Ura looks just very disinterested. I prefer whatever option leads to more fighting.
For now. Let us go down the unexplored path to see our way out. Though, we will have no chance of surprising her.
Surprising who?
Pauses there. And then she looks around the room. Are there any knives around the room?
Do you say this?
No.
Because
Yeah.
there are a couple.
Yeah. So on one of the tables, sort of against the wall near the bookshelf, you can see that there's like a couple kind of like tableware knives. You know, they're not like super duper sharp, but they're steak knife-esque.
She's going to go and she's going to get the tableware knives, and then she's going to grab a dragger. She's going to drag it over to the cultist, and then she's going to jam 2 knives right in his eye holes.
Uh-huh.
And then wrap the dragger's cold dead hands around those knives.
Yeah. Okay.
Staging,
Go ahead and roll cunning.
staging a fucking murder by Drocker. Oh my god. Please succeed this. Oh my god, yes.
Ura approves of this tactic.
You fabricate a half convincing scene wherein the Draugr has gouged out the eyeballs of this cultist.
I do not know if this will fool anyone, but at least we have some hope that our entrance has been.
Ura stares at the handiwork and sort of pouts and crosses her arms and says, "Fine, but if we meet anyone, I'm taking credit for that."
As
getting the problem.
Wait,
soon
where
as
we-
they meet anyone else, it's just like, by the way, you're gonna find there's the Draugr that looks like it killed a cultist, but he didn't. I killed both of them. That was me.
Can this be the point where we take a 30 seconds to 2-minute break?
Yeah.
I have a cat to fish out from behind a TV.
Oh.
We will take a break. The
Yeah,
team will
thank
finish
you.
deliberating at some point in the future.
I'll get a snack. We'll be back 5 minutes. Bye bye.
So, make a pudding.
I have 3 things to say though before we get back into it.
Nice.
Number 1, I think everyone knows my Rocky Road ice cream story, right?
Yes.
Where I cried because I missed my dad after I moved out for the first time, and whenever he'd go to the store, I'd be like, "Get me some ice cream," and he'd always get fucking Rocky Road ice cream, and I hated Rocky Road ice cream, the one ice cream that I don't like, and that is what he would get if I never specified. And because of all the craziness that's been going on, my family has only been going out to the grocery store once a month, and for the last couple months, no, we haven't had ice cream in the house. And I wrote ice cream on the grocery list, and my dad got fucking Rocky Road ice cream. So that was 1 and 2. And the third one is that I scooped out 2 scoops of the Rocky Road ice cream, and it looks like a butt.
So, have you thought maybe specifying the ice cream?
I've got Rocky Road ice cream. Oh, and I also have a slice of banana bread, so this is gonna be great. Also, Kevin, please take it away.
I appreciate that with Stella, you often get situations where she's like, I bet you've heard this story, and then she tells you the story.
Also, Kevin, don't take it away. Dati and Ura were talking.
Yeah, so the scene reopens onto our party kind of discussing running away.
And Ura had said that the first person she meets, she's going to take credit for the kill.
You do that.
I will. Glory is not to be given away to those who did not earn it.
Let's go. To the front of the cave, if we can find it. So at least if we are forced to run for our lives, we know where we are running.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you make your way back quite easily to the fountain room, the atrium. And yeah, you can take a swing to the right, and you will be going down the hallway towards the divide that turns it into sort of more of a carved out path through rock and stone and earth.
Ura casts a longing glances at the fountain as they walk by.
Mm-hmm. And you do just pass it by and continue on your way out? Is that the group's course? Okay. And what's the order that you guys are traveling in right now?
Arca will be at the flank.
Yeah, Dati will continue to take the lead.
Okay. With the torch.
Yes.
The point where Kory forgot he had the torch.
No. I remember.
All right. Yeah. So you go on and you do pass over the tripwire. I won't make you roll for that or anything. I assume you remember where it is and don't trigger it.
Oh, fuck, I'm kidding.
And then
here
path
on the
out from this sort of elegant stonework to just sort of mined passage. And continue on. It does have a gradual increase in elevation, but it's very gradual. It's nothing fast at all. Excuse me. And before long, you come to an intersection where it looks like you can continue straight, or you can venture to your left.
When we had checked, was this tunnel on the map?
No. So the map kind of just starts
At the atrium?
at the atrium. Yeah. It did have like a little bit of an arrow off to the south from the atrium that was like out, but it didn't elaborate on it at all.
Does there look like a difference at either end?
There does not. So you can't actually see super far down either path. The lighting here is more or less restricted solely to what's coming from the torch, and that doesn't give you a huge range of vision. None of you. Yeah. Nope. They look the same.
All right, well, you know what they say. When you're going through a maze, always take the left path.
Is that what they always say?
She points at you, gives a wide grin, and walks backwards down the left path before turning around.
Dati heads after.
Arga follows.
Alrighty. So this path is a little more level. It doesn't seem like it increases in elevation at the same pace that the other passage did. After a short time, you will come across another intersection. You can go forward or you can go right.
All right, well, there's not a left anymore. I'm out of option.
Well, I mean, there is a left-hand option, right?
Shut up, God.
This is the second time we've had the option to go that way. If we come across it a third, we should take it. But Dati keeps going forward.
Okay.
And then we realized we lost Araga.
Arga is following and totally not muting because she's eating ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so you continue on forward, and Dottie, go ahead and make a vigilance roll. Okay, cool. So you do notice that there is another tripwire along the ground here as you're continuing down the corridor. It's not immediately apparent what it's hooked up to, but it is a fairly thin metal wire that runs across the floor at ankle height.
Dati will grab her up by the shoulder.
Uh-huh.
A moment, and she'll point it out. Figure out what that is.
Or pulls out a knife and then looks at Dottie questioningly, pointing the knife at the tripwire.
I remember.
She didn't understand that, so she goes to cut the tripwire.
Oh no! Well, Arga can't see anything.
Dottie simply shakes her head at the knife suggestion.
So that's a no, don't do that.
Mm-mm.
She shrugs. Well, I'm not really into the trap business. If you had a trapper, maybe they could tell you more about this.
Do you
You
think
know what the last one was?
But yeah, I mean, that one was pretty obvious. It was hooked up to weird shit in the wall. She looks at the walls and ceiling.
You can roll Vigilant at -2 to see if you can distinguish anything, but there's nothing immediately apparent. There's nothing apparent after prolonged investigation either.
They look like walls to me.
Don't bother it.
Do you think that perhaps this is like the other trap where it led into an area where they were excavating? Maybe we want to go the other way.
Or this is the primary trap, and the one we came across was the secondary, leading the same way.
Both are a possibility. But in either case, it means this is a way.
Arga shrugs.
Ura steps over the wire.
Dead end. Dati steps over the wire.
Arga trips and falls. No, she also steps over the wire, so she'll just follow.
Araga secretly had impulsive. She trips over the wire.
Okay. So you can continue down the hallway, avoiding the trap, and you will come across yet another intersection. This one continues forward and to the left.
Well, there goes your plan.
My plan is to keep going forward.
Then, onward, noble. She narrows her eyes at you, whatever you are.
Taken.
I didn't ask about your status.
Oh dear. Okay. So you continue forward there.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. The hallway continues. Go ahead and roll vigilance, Dati.
A tripwire
Which
time.
presumably you're.
Dati has eyes. Look at me.
That usually ends badly when someone says that.
Mayer's
time you-
dead.
Yeah. Also, every time she
We don't know
said
if this is
that,
before or after.
You're
And
right.
look,
True.
but every time she said those words,
So you can
She
continue on.
Yep.
You don't see anything.
Okay.
Eventually, you do come across an intersection. This one branches off to the right and continues forward.
well, here's your third right.
Dati doesn't take the third right. Forward.
So apparently your word means nothing, Ura says.
That's harsh. So the path forward leads only a short distance before opening up into a room that's been kind of bored into the earth and the soil here. It has a few supporting beams to keep it level. It's about 15 feet by 15 feet, and it's just kind of filled with crates and barrels for the most part.
Ah, shit, Ura loves barrels.
Does the ground look disturbed recently?
The ground is mostly very hard packed earth and stone, so it's
Okay,
difficult to get a read from.
gotcha.
Dati's gonna start to head into this room and kind of search about, mostly concerned with kind of, it's a room, but is it a room you go through, or is it merely a dead end?
Gotcha.
And-
Yep.
Hey, Muscles,
So,
come pop open one of these barrels.
Clearly, if we take their food supply, then we'll win the long-term game, right? Yeah, that's how it works. Araga will sheath her sword and move over to the barrels.
okay. So while Dati hunts around, the two of you start prying open a barrel.
Yeah. Barreled.
Okay. Yeah, so the first barrel that you crack open is just filled to the brim with grain.
Does it look like good grain, or does it look like it's molded away? Or
No, it looks pretty good.
Uh,
Very grainy.
Araga will shove her arm in it to see if there's anything hidden inside.
Okay.
you find grain. The secret grain, though, not that normal surface grain.
Yeah, so Araga kind of plunges her hand down into the barrel and sifts through the grain. And no sets of teeth greet her or anything like that.
Okay.
In fact, nothing. Just a bunch of grain. Dati, meanwhile, investigates the room and pushes deeper. It's quite difficult to get to the back wall because it is pretty stock full of supplies and such, but she can soon see that there is no, at least visible, further passage from the room.
Okay. Dati will just kind of turn about and go and sniff at the grain that's opened up.
Yeah, it smells like grain.
Oh,
All right, let's check one of the crates then.
Okay.
Look, the barrels could all be grains, but we don't know what could be in the crate.
Yeah, go check out.
could
go
be a
check out-
barrel of grain.
Go check out one of the crates.
God's like, what the fuck is wrong with these?
So you crack open one of the crates.
Is
to
it filled with
reveal
grain?
that it's a crate full of grain.
Araga
not
shoves
really.
her arm into
Not
it.
really. It's just, oh man. I wanted to say there was a barrel inside. It just could be grain. Oh dear. No, so this crate actually appears to have a stack full of what look to be various kind of supplies to repair weapons. There are strips of leather to like bind cross hilts and stuff. There are little pommel guards for swords. There are long oh dear, long kind of shivs of metal that are ready to be like shaped down into something more useful, etc.
Listen, Kevin, as a DM, you have to get your fun from somewhere, okay?
You're right. You're right. I'm discovering that.
Ura looks between the opened barrel and the opened crates. How many like barrels and crates are there?
There are about 10 barrels that you can see, and maybe 8 crates.
Dati,
What?
this is way. These are too many supplies for the little we've seen.
They are and they aren't. We're finding a way to somewhere else, after all.
You. She gestures to the supplies again and says, "True, but this is not what you would. This is not the supplies of 2 to 5 people. This is the supplies of an army or fortress."
Yes, and somewhere else may lead to an army or fortress. They may be gathering these supplies to gift to the king and his armies.
She frowns a bit. I just worry that whatever this says that they're building or they have, they're not about to use.
No, I don't think you're wrong. Whatever it means is not good.
And then she glances back to the barrels in particular.
Araga replaces the lids.
Should we destroy what they have?
If we have time and aren't discovered.
No one has a lantern, right?
No. We do have the element of surprise right now. I think we should try to find our way out in the case that we are outnumbered. We can return with some reinforcements.
Dati starts walking out.
Okay. So you walk out, and you walk back to the intersection. Do you continue going back the way you came, or do you take the left, formerly right?
Yes, we take the left, formerly right.
I wondered if you were going to say left or right there, Kevin.
Well, relative directions and all that. Yeah.
You're
so
relatively cute. Got him.
you continue down the path
You're cute too, V.
and soon come to another intersection. You can continue going forward, or you can take a path to the right, which slopes upward, somewhat steeply.
Well, if we're underground, up means out, right?
Yeah. Dati is definitely going to start heading up.
Okay. Dati, go ahead and roll vigilant.
It was nice knowing you, Dati. Now you've met the vertical tripwire.
But this is like the third tripwire.
I'm imagining a cipher trap, but instead of like horizontal, it's vertical.
I'm imagining a trap that when you step on it, a hand just comes out and slaps you.
Now go ahead and roll discreet.
Ooh. God, your discreet's bad.
So you walk up this ramp, and your companions follow you up this ramp. And you can see as you rise along the path that rather than run into another intersection or something similar to that, the ramp appears to enter the the floor of a room. So it just continues going on up, and you continue going on up, and then you walk out and find yourself sort of in a what looks to be like guard room of sorts, in that the walls are circular around you, and you can see that there is a winding staircase on the inside of the wall that leads higher into things out in view. On the level with you, you appear to have come out sort of in a corner of the room, and this passage is wide enough, certainly, that it could be used as a main form of entry and exit and such, at least to get deeper down. To the right, there is a circular table on the far side of the room, about which 3 individuals are seated. A little to their left, there is a door that is a wooden door. It looks relatively new, kind of that classic castle door that's like kind of a half circle up top. Relevant to your purposes right now, the people who are sitting at the table are already looking at you as you come out holding your torch, and as Ura and as Araga follow, and they begin rising up and reaching for weapons.
Hey, I stabbed that cultist in the eyes.
Oh my god, we're gonna die.
She did say she was gonna tell the first person she met.
Is anything in the room like super flammable?
Us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So there's actually, the table they're sitting at is made of wood. I mean, obviously, it's probably not going to burn immediately. On your right, there is a collection of barrels, and you're not entirely sure what is in them, but they are sort of all bundled up together on the side of the room away from everything else. And those are your main options.
Dati threateningly points the torch at the barrels.
Okay. What are Araga and Ura up to right now?
She pulls out her knife.
Arga draws her greatsword.
She gives him a little twirl.
Okay. Yeah, so the three people look rather bewildered. One of them is just hastily stringing a bow that was leaning on the wall beside the table. Now he's got the loop over the edge and he's lifting it up into one hand. The others who have stood are, one is sort of holding onto a spear and the other is drawing a sword. They hesitate as Dati brandishes the torch towards the barrels. But then they begin to advance, and the one in the lead kind of says, like, "Where did you come from?" But it's got sort of that rhetorical lilt of, I'm asking a question, but I'm not necessarily going to sit around and peacefully seek the answer.
You know what I'm thinking? If someone asks something like that, it gives the implication that we're probably like in the fucking middle of a keep or something. Like we've bypassed measures of security and we've been going in the wrong way.
Keep the storeroom at the entrance to a keep.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll keep it at the entrance of the keep if that entrance is actually the escape route.
Well, Dati, do you answer them?
No, Dati doesn't answer them in that fashion. Who's closer to these barrels that might be explosively flammable and might not be?
You guys are kind of equidistant. No, they will get closer as they advance, though.
So
Okay.
while they're starting to advance, Ura's gonna go like sideways, like around the room, like towards the staircase.
Okay. Yes.
And just
Sounds
slowly
good.
like pace with them.
Yeah.
Arga's gonna stick close to Ura.
Dati just stays where she is.
Alrighty.
Suddenly remembering that one fight we had where Arga fucking threw her greatsword
That was the glint.
at an elk. Oh, that was great.
It was the glint because it was outside your range.
flying
So you
glint.
decided to just throw your sword at it,
Oh, right.
and then missed, and then ran off for 2 turns to go get your sword.
Sorry, I just remembered all of a sudden.
And you came back, and it was in Kory's throat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that time when we were in a fight and running away was an option? Well, it's not really an option when you're inside a keep.
Remember that time when we started an encounter by trying to dive bomb off a ladder?
That wasn't how we started. Well, 2 of us dove bomb. Dove bomb? Dive bombed?
Dive bomb.
I like dove bomb.
Dove bomb.
Or do you like dove bombed?
No, definitely. That's get the fuck out.
But what if your name is Dove and you bomb?
Gain bomb.
I miss all of our dead characters.
I only missed one of our dead characters.
Well, you didn't really get to experience Bane.
It was my character. I miss Carmion. He's my most easy character to play.
Okay, so I've got their stats all charted out. As Ura winds her way along the wall opposite the barrels, and as 2 of the troops kind of advance upon you, the third knocks an arrow to the bow, and the leader who had spoken as their inquiry goes ignored kind of says, well, it doesn't matter where you've come from, you'll be dead soon. and it begins to advance. So we will move to combat. It is Aura's turn first.
Who are they heading towards out of the three of us?
They're, kind of advancing on the two, but now that you've kind of peeled off on your own, they're eyeing you.
So they're not directly in front of me, they're slightly to the side?
Right. Yeah. So if the room is a circle, because it is,
Yeah.
Ariga and Dati can be at the southern tip of the room, right?
Here,
You, Ura, is at the western edge of the room. Two people are in the middle of the room, and one person is at the north point of the room.
Like that?
I thought about actually putting this in a map, and then I was like, well, we don't need a map because we've done literally everything in Theater of the Mind. And now
We don't need a map. What kind of weak sauce is this? I can't
Alright.
delete it.
So then Ura goes straight for the archer.
Okay. Yes, you may charge the archer. And you will be attacking them. They have a defensive +3.
Okay. So I get 3.
Yes, it is a +3 to your attack.
2 normal hits, I don't have any advantage.
Wow. Okay.
And then here is the hit with advantage. So 6, 7, 9.
All right. Yeah.
Are any of those pain breaking?
Pain threshold of this. Let's see. It just kills him.
So it was a lot of pain, and then he was like, oh, I'm dead now. So in just 3 quick motions, she just stabs him straight in the...
Yeah. I mean, each blow, and this archer is actually wearing quite hefty armor, but your stiletto finds its way through scale mail. I mean, you can find the points of leather that aren't shielded by metal, and you got the person, and they die.
Deep impact. That's quality. Her chest isn't even really glowing yet. This isn't true combat.
So the 2 guards will wheel about as Ura charges the archer, and they'll rush at her, and it seems to be an attempt to get to stop this murder from happening, but they are too late. However, they do kind of get in close to her, and the fellow with the spear is going to get a free attack as they close in on you. So go ahead and...
They get an attack from moving in from long range? I know if you're moving in, you get
It's
it.
polearm.
Yeah, so there's the passive thing that is just long weapons, which is you get the free attack.
But polearm
The
master
extra
or
stuff
whatever. Yeah.
is from polearm mastery, exactly.
Okay.
So they're 2 separate thingamabobs.
You got some XP.
So they should be worth more XP, right?
So go ahead and roll to defend against at -5 for this first attack.
5. Jesus.
Who is this for?
Nice.
They're all gonna be for me.
Okay, and now the actual attack from this individual. So go ahead and roll to defend -5.
Ooh.
Wow, nice.
She's very athletic.
Wait, so your defense is 17?
Yep, 16 is the stat, and then twin attack gives me 1 for having a weapon in both hands.
Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. So the other guard draws in beside you and will attempt to beat you up. So go ahead and roll to defend at -7 now because you're flanked.
Will do, Captain. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Very close. So you take. Let's see. You have 3 damage or 3 armor, but you're being flanked, which adds 2. Yeah. So you take 9 damage.
Okay, that's way over my pain threshold.
Okay. That will incur another attack.
Oh my god.
The guard is going to hit you, so roll to defend at -7 again.
I know you don't like me, Kevin, but you didn't have to give me 4 attacks in one turn.
Okay.
So I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Because that's more than 1 damage.
Yeah, it is more than 1 damage. Okay.
Oh
so
my God.
Aura dashes across the room and annihilates the archer before they're so much as able to draw back the arrow that they have knocked in their bow.
Arika should. Oh, sorry.
Both guards chase after her, and they kind of just box her in, and she's able to fend off the spear, but that makes it a little too difficult to block the one who gets closer in on the side, and she falls under a pair of fairly brutal attacks.
2 pairs.
Well,
8 pair.
It is now Arga's turn.
What were you gonna say, Kory?
Arika should delay her turn until after Dotti's turn.
Arga will delay her turn until after Dotti's turn.
Somehow, Dati gets to go in front of Arika and rushes forward and whips out her dagger as a free action and knifes at. Oh, there's a free attack incoming.
It's only once per combat, the base form thing.
Okay, well, she'll go towards the sword one and try and knife him.
Okay.
I'm very concerned if either of you get hit once.
Yep.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll to attack at -3. Okay.
And now Arika should try and hit that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't roll max damage, there's like every possibility this is an easy party wipe.
Yep. Which is why I wanted to get the fuck out of here. Okay, Arga will bring up her great sword. It was -3. Oh, if I attack the same one and position.
It is -1 to attack the same one
Yeah.
because you have a flanking bonus.
Yeah, Arga is gonna bop him in the back of the head. Fuck. Fuck.
And with the Arga special.
Arga cleaves the earth.
Arga cleaves the earth. Alright.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
It is Aura's turn. Go ahead and make it.
I think I have to roll a 1 for us to survive.
Oh,
It would
no,
certainly
no.
help.
That's not
Alright.
a one.
Aura is 1/3 of the way to dying. It is the guard's turn. Both guards will attempt to attack Dati. Spear guard attacks Dati. Go ahead and roll to dissuade with a +1.
Okay. Dottie will swing her torch in the man's face.
He turns to attack Ariga instead. So, Ariga, roll to defend at -5.
Arga, your armor can
-5?
block 7.
Yeah.
Why is it -1 for Dottie?
Well, it was a different stat.
They weren't defending, he was yelling at them.
Yes. So she got a +1 because she was rolling against their resolute rather than defending.
Yeah, I had a
Okay.
-7, Stella. Would you rather have that one?
screeching down their willfulness to even
Oh.
strike.
Okay, alright. Arga, you beautiful mountain of a woman, You have a hot elf girlfriend waiting for you back at home. You just gotta get through this, alright? You got this, girl. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god.
Oh my fuck.
Oh my
Go ahead and
fucking
roll to
god.
confirm.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god.
Alright, so that is a critical attack.
Araga was already at 2 hit points. So
Yeah.
Oh,
dear.
my fucking
Stella.
god.
I don't think there's a single
hell?
time you've built up a roll and it hasn't gone horribly.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. It's just the ones that really like stick out in your memory, right? Yeah.
Oh.
So
it's usually me building up rolls.
the guard just leans forward and thrusts out with the spear, and it punches clear through Arga's armor. It goes through muscle and gut. It scrapes against the side of her spine. It's really nasty. She spasms. He pulls out and then just whips the butt of the spear around, and it just thoroughly cracks into the side of her skull, and she drops like a sack of bricks. Which leaves the other guard to turn and also do his best to attack Dati.
Dati swipes with dagger and
You're not gonna try to face me?
torch.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's how she's persuading him. She's persuading him that she'll slit his fucking throat if he gets close enough.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll +1. Okay. Go ahead and roll to defend at -5. Okay.
That's everyone.
How much damage does he do?
He does 5 damage.
Exact, like with the negation.
Yeah, that's after armor.
Dati drops.
Ah!
Ariga drops. Ariga
If it
drops.
just wasn't for that 4th attack.
Dati is not able to deter the guard, who closes in and sort of just gores her, and she collapses on the ground beside Ariga.
So now it's Araga's turn to roll.
Yeah. So that's it. They will dispatch 2 of you, and then take 1 person and probably try to keep them alive long enough to pump some questions out of them, and then kill them. And unfortunately, the foray to stop the Solemn King's slumber fails. And the
Oh, sorry.
Vigil, for these characters at least, is over.
Why couldn't they have just picked to knock me down?
Oh my god. Ah! My hot elf girlfriend, it was so close. We held hands, we brushed shoulders, we ate dinner together. I told her I was into older chicks.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Shouldn't have played it slow. Fuck. Should have been a harlot. Oh man. Oh, you're rolling your death save? Alright.
No, if it was a 1, I was gonna say I was the one that got taken prisoner.
Hold on, I want to see what my death save would have been. Damn, man.
I mean, honestly, I probably was the one taken prisoner just so they could torture me a bit more, since I did brutally murder one of them.
Dang.
Which means they didn't get much information, at least.
And also, Araga was like cleaved to the spine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was probably not her.
Fuck. Well, that was really fun, I guess.
Symbarum's fucking hard, man.
God, Symbarum's so hard. I just realized, like I was just poking through your guys' character sheets, and I noticed that my XP total is not the same as y'all's, like at all. So I think I missed out on some stuff, but something to keep an eye on next time.
What was your total?
I don't know. I have 52 and 15. Eh. There you go, Bob. All right. Any closing thoughts?
Mr. DM?
No. R.I.P. to the gang.
Yeah.
That was a good attempt.
Dang. Maybe we'll go around and try to end on a happier note. And
But then the jade cat in my backpack, it teleports me away and I live. Fuck you
yeah,
guys.
what was the cat all about?
It was just a trinket. But if you had succeeded in the vigilant roll, you would have heard it purring.
Aww, what a
Aw.
good kitty.
Well, what
And
was
then
the
you got-
tablet for?
The tablet was one of several keys that you could have placed around the fountain to open the gate down to the summoning chamber for the Solemn camp.
I fucking knew it. I knew it was gonna be a key of some kind. I was like, shit, we're gonna have to collect some of these. Dang.
And most importantly, what were all the shitty trinkets that Dati wouldn't let Chorus take?
Yeah, hang on just a sec.
B, this was the session wherein Dottie no longer had addict and from now on had nightmares.
Oh,
Oh.
We didn't, yeah, because she threw away her stuff and went 3 or 4 days without, and so we were going to switch over
The reason
From-
that
to another.
the reason that Arga was like super conscious about her bag wasn't because like, you know, Ura's a newcomer or anything like that. It was because she realized that Dottie had the addiction, and you trusted her with the drugs, and she was like, all right, well, I'm gonna help her get off of this, and like gonna like shove you away if you try to get it, you know, try to keep you strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was pretty self-explanatory, but Ura's mystic mark was a scar over her heart that that started to glow during combat.
Oh, see, I thought that was her secret changeling thing.
No.
You didn't go
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
I thought it was
So-
stress related.
You picked up 3 like those trinkets off of
it was
the,
like the
the
rabbit's
cultists.
foot
One was a
and-
lucky charm, which was just a lucky charm. It wasn't anything special. One was a starstone, which was an artifact actually that you could have bonded with, and it would have given the wielder the power to once a day or once a night summon star power to like paralyze an enemy.
Oh.
Whoa.
And then you had a worn figurine, which had limited healing capabilities.
I blame Dottie for not letting Chorus just immediately touch everything.
It was useful apparently, but
Man, if Seeger was alive, she could have like helped identify shit too.
Yeah, with the lore master.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, it's okay. I learned lore masters just roll double 20s and kill their party members.
Oh my god, I'm so fucking salty about that. Just the one literal combination that like I couldn't
Thing
handle.
I came up with. I was like, it's so unlikely to happen. It's a 1.25% chance, right? Like, it's so unlikely. But
I'm
Kevin,
very
oh.
good at rolling the things that I'm not supposed to roll.
there was nothing that was more of a perfect storm than Peikome's death. Carmion rolling the double 20s to get what it was wrong. Peikome drinking a large amount rather than just like tasting it.
Carmion not tasting it himself to try it because he thought so surely that it would be wasted on him and we should save it for her.
And then maximum failing all 3 of the corruption, like what would decide the corruption rolls. Like, it was just a perfect storm of everything that went wrong that needed to. Because if one of like 20 things had changed, Pekome wouldn't have become an abomination.
Oh my god.
You know, at least we can all agree that everyone had a better chance than Pestle.
Wow, the last session against the troll, that was scary.
Oh,
You got fucking one shot.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Damn.
Once you start fighting anything that has above 5 damage, it's so easy to just go down. Like, look at this. I dodged 2 massive hits, got hit by 1, and it was over.
Yeah. Kevin.
I think we should do.
Go ahead, Kory.
I think we should do what we did in our last session of Salt March. Everybody, what was your favorite part?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, of the Vigil.
Oh, I meant the session.
Oh, the session? Okay.
The session or of both campaigns?
Oh.
Yes.
If I had to say, my favorite part was probably after the orb, seeing the like royal court meeting.
Yes, that was so cool.
That was really cool. I didn't get to experience it personally as a character.
You got to trip out and see a giant.
Yeah. My favorite part of all the sessions were Daddy Longworm.
Ugh. The Bygorn
You mean-
Beast thing?
You mean
Yeah.
Lindworm?
Ugh.
No. That's
No.
awesome. Daddy Longworm.
He means the
Oh, the thing
thing that they were worshiping.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course that got eaten by rather.
Quartz probably ate a little of it while it was inside.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Ew.
Did that thing have an end? What if I just was like, my character keeps running until she finds the end?
Probably gone all the way to the sinkhole.
You would have eventually found that it burrows into the ground near the sinkhole. Yeah.
Okay.
Ew.
All right, Kevin.
Uh-huh.
Out of both campaigns, what were you most sad or disappointed that we didn't get to see? Like either we went a different direction or didn't interact with someone, or just didn't...
There have been a handful of things. So this time it's a little sad because I think the interactions building up to the Solemn King would have been neat if you got a little further. Let's see. With Pekome's gang, there were a couple interesting things on the lower levels of the ruins that you guys like kind of said we're never going back there again, which would have been neat. That was a good decision, by the way. Like, I think that was right. It's just there was some neat stuff down there. There were definitely I had several sessions of lore built up if you guys decided to take a journey to try and purify Pekome's corruption. Add like a story of like a legend that you could find with the Ordo Magica that would suggest that there was a place that you could go that would be able to cleanse her, and it would be difficult to get there, but eventually she'd be a little more balanced when she came out of it on the other side. But she ended up dying to corruption before that happened.
Yeah, we set up pretty heavily. Like, if that story arc had come to pass with Pekome giving up the black gift, it would have been like a perfect story setup.
Yeah, it definitely would have flowed together. There were also some story elements around like the plot that was going on in Thistlehold with that heart that got delivered, and then the big abomination that attacked, and the knight that Kory's character
the
didn't
forest
like at all.
god heart.
So there were some continuations from that never got realized as well.
Damn.
So those were the ones that come to mind right away, but there are definitely a couple, because a lot, especially more so with the last campaign, it was very open-ended. Like, I had a lot of kind of like bookmark notes where I'd said like, if they choose this, it's going to be generally this, and I'll flesh it out if they decide to do that. So I had a handful of like interesting kind of things to build up.
Kevin, how does it feel to have DM'd these games to such an excellence that we're all experiencing fucking heartburn because we died because we really,
Oh.
really, really liked our characters.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm glad that
You are
know, it's
very,
something that you
very
guys
good
connect to.
DM. Yeah.
I really didn't think you guys were going to like retreat tonight, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So there was indeed a whole fortress on the other side of you.
On
Like
both
we were going
sides?
deeper into a fortress.
Oh, so
Your assumption about the guard room.
you had been transported past a fortress operated by the cult that was working to resurrect the Solemn King into the lowest levels where only some priests and undead creatures were.
Oh my god.
So above you was like the entire rest of the cult that you had gotten past. Now Ost, of course, like didn't tell you that, so you didn't really have a way to know necessarily.
I called it that storeroom would be in the middle.
Yeah.
But
As soon
yeah,
as we
you were,
discovered the
like,
grain, I was like, we're fucked. Damn.
All right, Kevin, my most important question.
Mhm.
That letter the two letters Pekome paid a lot to get sent out.
Oh
Did they
yeah,
ever-
no, they were delivered.
All right, cool. So those two heartbreaking letters got to their
Excuse
intended
me.
targets, and
Excuse
then
me.
she died.
Paid a lot. Didn't pay fucking anything.
I'm pretty sure- Oh no, right. She said they would pay on arrival.
No. No. Carmion made up some bullshit about them paying on
I would
arrival.
like to write this letter collect, please.
That's 100% the story he sold.
And
Because he wasn't given any money to get it delivered, so he's not gonna do it.
and then she died, and because of how she died, probably just assumed a missing.
Oh god.
Given that we just disposed of her body, yeah.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't like a normal body anymore, and most people didn't know she was a changeling in the first place.
Yeah.
On the bright side, she couldn't be used to convince Bori to do bad things. Because she was dead.
It's a bright
that's
side.
one way to look at it.
It's a bright side. It's a side.
Okay, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Not who was your favorite character, but what combination of characters do you think had the best interactions?
Best interactions.
Obviously, Araga and Eleanor.
That was you.
I definitely did enjoy Araga's bullying. Like how we took that to basically be Chorus's entire relationship with his tribe.
Yeah.
Just like
That's pretty funny.
everyone he knows treats him like shit because of her.
What? Because of Araga?
Yeah, this is your fault now, Stella.
Not because of Araga, like historically, but because you developed that kind of came to be the thing.
Oh. Well, no. He
You know?
started off with, like, I'm a black sheep. And I was like, okay, well, Araga teases
Yeah,
you.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Nah, I can't take credit for that. But yeah, answer the question, Kevin.
Good question. I mean, I do think Arga and Chorus were pretty fun. I wanted to see more of Dati and Sigra.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. So
Ugh.
Sigra was starting
Oh,
off as a
perfect.
staff fighter, and she was going to become a staff mage. She was like in an apprenticeship, basically, because like we didn't start off with enough experience points for me to like delve into the magic part. But she was going to be able to do like all kinds of cool fucking shit with Bandit, like make earthquakes and make it rain blood and stuff with her staff. Oh.
It wasn't even close to the amount of XP I needed. I would have needed like another 30. But when you max out knife play, Whenever you do damage with an attack, from that point on, you're considered so close that an opponent can't effectively hit you, or if they use long weapons, they can't hit you at all. And it means that you have 2 chances to succeed every defense test against them. Unless they step out and give you an attack of opportunity.
Wow.
So, like, she would have been incredibly defensive in one-on-ones.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't even close. Pestle was 1 XP away from being an actual character. He was literally 1 away from getting Sixth Sense to level 2, which gives him, like, a relative defense and attack.
Yo, you know who I fucking miss? Grotto. Grotto was such an MVP.
Think about how much better that adventure would have been on us if we'd had an entirely extra character. But on the other hand, how much suckier that adventure would be if we'd had to have taken Chorus with us.
Wow, that's so mean.
You know, Kory, we can at least imagine that Grotto was the blighted character I was gonna, the Dark Blood character. We're essentially doing what I was gonna do, which was stack up a bunch of armor and then be a fucking tank.
I just want to play woman with giant sword. That was my character. That's it.
You played farmer in armor.
Yeah. She wasn't even gonna be a thirsty character, but then Kevin just dangled a hot elf in front of me. I'm like, alright, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing this.
It all started when I asked Kevin if the elf was hot, and he was like, "She's got a mask on."
Oh my god.
It's like 90% of the characters I introduced you guys to were like basically just hidden. And you were still, hey DM, is she hot?
It's okay. If we start another Symbaroum campaign, I'm gonna play a fucking nun. It's gonna
That's
be great.
what Dati was, so.
So the other thing was, like, when making characters, I was like, it's sort of awkward if you're the only one making a character, because it's hard to, like, truly change roles. Like, if I wanted to go be another armor-heavy character, I'm sort of taking half of Araga's role, and we're not really getting anything new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting in a system where at least one stat is just required. If you lose the person that does that stat.
You indiscreet for trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, things do get a lot more complicated if you lose your Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I mean, I had 17 defense, but in the end, against a lot of enemies, it was only like a 60% chance to avoid a hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a massive chance to, like, get hit, and when you only need 1 to go down, to potentially go down.
I think looking forward, as much as, like, we enjoyed the flanking rule, using it, I wouldn't recommend it to someone
it makes you a lot squishier.
To get into Symbaroum. Like, it feels like giving that.
Well, our biggest issue for this entire campaign was damage.
Yeah.
Like, for up until Ura, almost every combat, we low rolled all of our damage.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just cut out the middle, man. Rolled it and dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I think this is a good place for us to call it for the night. Thank you, chat, so much for hanging out with us for another freaking party fight. Oh, man. And thank you so much, Kevin, for an amazing story. So immersive, and we just fucking loved our characters to literal death. It was...
Thank you for making a waifu, Kevin.
You did make a waifu.
You didn't waifu. It's not even that part of the elf life cycle.
You made a waifu of my NPC.
Well, that's basically how you play TTRPGs, Kevin. If you're not doing that, then what's even the point? You know what I mean?
I
also
see.
how waifus work, Kevin. They don't start as waifus. People make them waifus.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, Kevin, this is your second TPK. How's it feel?
I mean, you know, not great. It's okay though. Like, it's
Like, I didn't
sad
want you to
because
die.
TPKs
Like,
are
you
rough,
failed
right?
me.
Because it's like all of the story that you've had on the back burner or you've been thinking about, it's all out the window, right?
Yeah.
Which is too bad. But I mean, it's neat. I like the. I don't know. I like the fact that you are walking on the edge with this game a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. I love that this is a dangerous game. If it was easier, I think it wouldn't be as fun for me.
Every single combat in Symbaroum could be life or death.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And then there's some where you're like, this is absolutely it. This is life or death.
And then you just kill everyone in like one shot each.
It's a necromage. It's another necromage. It's the 5th necromage.
Oh, alright, we're gonna do some outros real quick, and then I'm gonna do my shoutouts, and we'll go on a raid, and we'll start off this week with Kory.
I'm Kory. I'm a little sad, but I'll be okay. But I am a little sad, but I'll be okay.
Me too.
I didn't really have to go. Did I? I didn't want to. I didn't want to go.
It's okay. Pat, Kory. Just pet your cat. Go find Jacob the cat.
Yeah.
Give him a
he's
cuddle.
Being antisocial.
Well, you know what? Sometimes when you're as a cat owner, sometimes you just gotta grab a cat and just like, doesn't matter if the cat's feeling antisocial, you just gotta pet it sometimes.
Yeah.
And if he didn't want to be in the spotlight, he shouldn't have gone on TV so many times.
Oh, fucking shit, Lord.
Next,
Near the cat.
next we've got Obdurant.
Hello, I'm Obdurant. I am here on Stella's stream every Wednesday doing RPG things, and occasionally at other times also doing RPG things, or Valorant, or Destiny, or anything like that. Man, this has been a rough week, dude. We had a session right now that was emotional. I finished watching She-Ra earlier this week, and that wrung my heart out. But yeah, I just I don't really stream or anything. I just play RPGs, play video games with friends, and sometimes kill them.
Sometimes kill. Last but certainly not least, we've got Vertigo Cross.
Hello, I'm Vertigo. I'm a lot of sad.
Waddle.
I like axolotls. I like streaming random video games. Today I played Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, and tomorrow I'm going to be playing Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. On
It's
Mondays,
surprisingly fun to watch that.
Yes.
watch what? 2 hours of me getting my ass kicked?
Well, it's fun to watch. I'm sorry. It really is. No, like, because I was watching you before the stream, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, oh fuck, I have to get ready to stream too. I don't want to stop V. I don't like. That's why I didn't mention anything in your chat or message you, right? Because I was like, I kind of want him to keep going.
Wow.
Well, if I just kept going, we never
Yeah,
would have.
Fuck, man, why didn't you? Oh,
Oh my god, Diesel Shot. Hello, Raiders. Oh my god, you missed the TPK. You missed the TPK. We've been sitting here sad for the last like 15 minutes.
And most importantly, on Mondays, I'm here with my best friend Stella Luna, where we always ask the DM, is she hot?
Yes, you can catch Vertigo Cross and I here on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we do our variety gaming, where we turn whatever we are playing into a romance simulator. It was very interesting doing that with Resident Evil 2.
I don't know. There was a monster called a liquor.
There was. And you remember my window zombie boyfriend?
Yeah,
Do you remember his name?
Willie.
Yep, Willie. Willie the window zombie. Gave him smooches every time we ran by.
Willie the window waving zombie.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Yeah, so hi, I'm Stella Luna. Welcome to the channel. If you like D&D or Dark Fantasy TTRPG Meat Grinders, where all the characters get killed all the time, this is the channel for you. We are doing a D&D marathon this weekend, starting at Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be 3 back-to-back adventures. Back-to-back adventures.
Back to back.
They are sci-fi D&D using the dark matter content written by Mage Hand Press, and I really hope that you can join us. It'll be 10 hours of one-shots. Super, super awesome. And if you like TTRPGs and you want to play in them, the best way to get in on the fun is to join our Discord. We are always looking for new players. We're always doing marathons, and we would love to reserve a seat for you. We do all kinds of other D&Ds as well. We have done some under the sea, underwater campaign style kind of stuff. We've done Cats and Catacombs, Dungeons and Doggies, and maybe we're gonna do something with like monsters. I don't know. I'm kind of inspired. Kory, who is part of our Saltmarsh D&D games on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, had mentioned wanting to play a bullywug, and I was like, huh, maybe we should do something with that.
Can I be a displacer beast?
Yeah, I don't know. If you were gonna play Displacer Beast, I'd have to put you in a game with Malk.
Yeah, I watched that break up that relationship pretty much.
Could I be against Mal? Can he just attack me?
I know the truth of it all is that Malk and I broke up because of the Displacer Beasts. 100%. Yep. Yeah. So for the rest of the week, we've got nothing until the marathon. So I hope to see y'all on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye!
You're all butts.